Okay, hello everyone. This is the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for August 6th, 2026. The first thing on our agenda is the administrative session. We need to approve the minutes for Thursday, July 2nd. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Joe, and a second? Discussion of the minutes? No discussion? Okay, we're going to vote to approve the minutes.
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Jane? Yes. And I'm a yes, the minutes are approved. Okay, now I'm going to call to order the public session of our meeting today. I'm going to read through kind of how we run meetings. It will now come to order. First, when a matter is called, the applicant or his or her agent will present the case. At this time, originals of any petition should be given to the clerk Tara. Copies of the petition then be distributed to board members. After the applicant's presentation, all interested persons in favor of the application will come forward and speak. After those in favor have spoken, those in opposition will then be heard. The applicant or his or her agent may then address the comments made by those in opposition. Second, this meeting is being recorded as required by state law. It's important that we're able to understand the recording. Therefore, only one person may speak at a time, and anyone who speaks must come forward, speak clearly, as our recording device is located in the ceiling. And you must always give your name and address. We welcome the comments of all interested persons, but we must exercise discretion in making sure that your comments are on point. And if you're too far off point, we reserve the right to restrict your comments at any time. Third, applicants and interested persons may remain in attendance after the public hearing for the executive session to find out what was decided, or you may call the zoning office tomorrow morning to find out. If an application for a waiver is granted, it's not valid until it's recorded, and you must bring a check in the amount of $70 made out to the town of Fairfield to the zoning office on Wednesday or later following the meeting for a proper re-recording of notice. As a reminder, if everyone can make sure their phones are off, and so they don't get ringing. And two other things, we're gonna for today, we're going to have the petitioner come up first and make some opening arguments, and after that, the town attorney will come forward and make their opening arguments. We'll then continue as normal, where the petitioner will come up and present their application for reversal or modification. And as for our normal, we will let this application or petitioner talk all the way through, and then the board will ask questions, and then we will ask people who speak in favor and those who speak after. So we just don't want to interrupt as the petitioner speaks. So, we are going to start with general docket number 1. I believe the petitioner and the town has agreed we're going to hear these together.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to read both of these now. Okay, so we're going to call to order general docket 1 and 2. One is 489 Westway Road, map 283, parcel 9. Petition of Michael Liskov to reverse or modify the decision of the zoning administrator for issuance of a notice of violation regarding the purchase of a dwelling as an affordable dwelling per the 830G housing regulations for which they don't qualify for. Premises DRD zone. Number 2 is 461 Westway, map 238, parcel 461. Petition of Glenn Tatangelo, excuse me, to reverse or modify the decision of the zoning administrator for issuing a notice of violation regarding the purchase of a dwelling as an affordable dwelling per the 830G housing regulations for which they don't qualify for. Premises DRD zone. Okay, so the petitioner can come forward, or are you planning on speaking from where you are?
I think that would be best.
As long as the town can confirm that that will be recorded correctly? Okay, then that's fine.
My voice usually carries everything. I've always got in trouble with my voice carrying, so.
Microphone is there, that's the issue.
Okay.
Oh, that's one there too.
Yeah, as Matt is, you've listened to them before, so this is fine, right? Okay, so please,
Okay, we're doing opening statement now?
opening statement.
Okay, good afternoon, thank you, members of the board. My name is Russell Liskov. I'll be representing Glenn Tatangelo and Michael Liskov. We are here seeking a reversal.
Oh, I'm sorry, we do need your address.
54 Jog Hill Road, Trumbull, Connecticut.
Thank you.
And I am here seeking the reversal of the zoning enforcement officer's orders against both Mr. Tatangelo and Mr. Liskov. I'm going to give you a lot of information. This is about 830G affordable housing matters. It's going to talk about incomes. It's going to talk about calculations. It's going to talk about what town officials did or what town officials didn't do. You're going to learn who Mr. Tatangelo is and what he does. You're going to learn who Michael Liskov is and what he does and how he applied for his unit. And I don't know if you're going to be able to synthesize all the information here, just hearing it now, because there's a lot of information. I received hundreds of documents yesterday from Mr. Piers, and I received 7 or 8 exhibits from Mr. Carroll. I have no objection to any of them coming in. They should all come in. This case is of extreme importance to both Mr. Tatangelo and Mr. Liskov because it has the ability to potentially dispossess them of their homes and to financially cripple them. Mr. Tatangelo is a 67-year-old man who's owned this house for 8 years. Michael Liskov is now a 29-year-old man who's owned this house for 5 years. You may hear information from Mr. Tatangelo about other affordable housing projects that he's worked on. And there is potentially some backlash for these orders based upon his other projects he's done. So I'm going to try not to go there. I'm going to try and be really nice. I'm going to try and be really thorough. Some of the questions I'm going to ask are not going to be nice. I got to tell you that right up front. They're going to be very probing, and they're going to ask very personal stuff. I don't mean to be mean. I don't mean to be nasty. I just want to create a record for here, because if you don't have a record, you have nothing to take to the next level. I'm hoping we don't have to get to the next level. We've tried everything we could do to not get here, but we're here, and we're going to present all the evidence we have to persuade you that Mr. Decker's orders are incorrect. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Wilson Carroll, and I'm an attorney with Cohen & Wolfe in 1115 Broad Street in Bridgeport. It's the office of the town attorney. But today I'm here representing Mr. Matt Decker, the zoning enforcement officer, in support of his decision with respect to these 2 properties. So I did submit a letter into the record yesterday with a number of exhibits. And just for the record, also the documents that Attorney Liskov was just referencing, the hundreds of documents he received from Attorney Piers, were in response to a subpoena. So we were ordered to produce those documents, and we did in fact produce them. So the letter that I submitted, I think, goes through the background, and I hope you had a chance to review it. But just very briefly, by way of background, these 2 properties are part of a 16-unit condominium development that was approved in 2017. And it was approved subject to an affordability plan that required 2 of those units to be deed restricted as affordable housing units. And the most important provision of that plan for the purpose of this proceeding, 2 provisions really. The first is that the purchaser of the affordable units must occupy it as their primary residence. So that's number 1. Number 2 is that they have to be what's called income eligible. So they have to make no more money than 80% of the area median income for that year based on the household size. So both of these properties, 461 and 489, are both one family households, or household number is 1, and for the years in which they were conveyed, the amounts, basically the required income for 461 to be considered an eligible purchaser was $52,528. And then on 489 Westwood Road, a couple years later in 2021, that number went up to $56,336. The problem here is that in around 2022, there was an initial set of notice of violations. This issue came up for the first time sometime around 2022. And then again in 2024, the town was willing to work with the applicants to try to resolve some of these issues. And so the fact that we're here on notices of violation from January of this year was really an accommodation to the applicants to try and work this out short of this type of proceeding. But the bottom line is that as reported by both applicants, with both purchasers, they made more money than you are allowed to make to be considered an eligible purchaser for those years. And their own affordability plan requires them to make less than that amount at the time of purchase. So you're going to hear about some subsequent attempts to correct the statements that they made in those compliance documents that I submitted. For Mr. Liskoff, Mr. Michael Liskoff, that was by amending his tax return to show a new amount that reflected a taxable income lower than the eligibility amount. And for Mr. Tatangelo, he's characterizing his compliance document, which said he made $86,000 that year instead of 56. He says that was basically a scrivener's error. Like the person who filled that out didn't know what they were doing and now claims to have taxable income for that year below the threshold. But the bottom line is that the plan does not just say your taxable income has to be below that threshold. Their affordability plan says that income for purposes of determining an applicant's qualification shall include the applicant's family's total anticipated income from all sources for the 12-month period following the date the application is submitted. So all we have here is statements from the applicants as well as tax returns of minimal relevance and essentially nothing else to support that they were income eligible at the time of purchase. And then with respect to Mr. Tatangelo, the town had conveyed to him multiple times that they had not received any proof that he used this property as his primary residence. Perhaps we will see some of that today, but even if you were to determine that he does use it as his primary residence, that still would have no effect on whether he was income eligible at the time of purchase. So that's all for now. And,
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, now we will go into the session and the petitioner can begin their application.
Okay. The first thing I'd like to do is have the board look at Exhibit A from Mr. Carroll. I want to that's the letter he was just talking about. The letter he was talking about is dated August 4th, 2026 and submitted electronically. And he said,
Do you have that up there or only in our emails? We have them,
In your email.
but we don't have it. Okay.
so he submits this letter on behalf of the town's zoning enforcement officer. He doesn't say he's submitting it on behalf of the Planning and Zoning Commission. The town is a very innocuous entity, but he doesn't say on behalf of the Planning and Zoning Commission. On page 2, he also he makes a statement in the next to the last paragraph. This all came out after the town's review of the documents that were filed, not the Planning and Zoning Commission. It's a problem. In paragraph 3, the town could evaluate Mr. Tatangelo and Mr. Liskoff's claims.
Can I stop
what
you
is
just?
Exhibit A?
We just want to make sure we're following you correctly.
Sure.
So we're looking at so you're referring to the exhibit, the attachments from Mr. Carroll's email from yesterday to us.
Correct, dated August 6th, where he starts
So
out.
which one are you referring to?
The first one where he says, our office submits
So
this
we have
letter.
we have a Westway Road Exhibit A, Exhibit B. Is it Exhibit A?
this is I think the cover letter.
It's the cover letter.
Oh, excuse me.
Cover letter.
I'm sorry. The cover letter, no,
First one.
that's the first one.
This.
The first attachment to the
Yes.
email. Okay.
So let me do.
You want to start again,
Sure,
please?
absolutely. In the first sentence of page 1, he states that his office, our office, submits this letter on behalf of the town's zoning enforcement officer. Okay, so that's Mr. Deck, he's here. Doesn't say he's doing behalf of the Planning and Zoning Commission, and it's important, and I'll bring out why that's important. On the second page of the same cover letter, he also says that, once again, next to the last paragraph, 3 lines up, He says that the present appeals arise because the town's review of the records, okay? Doesn't say the Planning and Zoning Commission's review. In the third paragraph of the second page, he also says the town previously issued similar orders. Well, the town didn't, it was Mr. Decker as the zoning enforcement officer. And once again, he says in settlement negotiations, the town could evaluate Mr. Tangelo and Mr. Claims. Once again, it's town. And I'm gonna get to a reason why town is important and it's wrong. In paragraph, on page 3, he also talks about the town's enforcement authority. That's a problem. The only entity that has the authority to enforce the affordability plan is the Planning and Zoning Commission. And I'll show you that. It's black and white and red all over. You'll have no problem seeing that. And then on page 3, after you get past Roman numeral number 4, the second paragraph. And this is really important. This is really troubling because it's just made up, okay? And I love Mr. Carroll. I've worked with Mr. Carroll on lots of zoning cases, and we've been in court together, and we've been in hearings together, and he's a great guy. But this is just completely inappropriate where he says, the plan does not allow the administrator, developer, or the purchaser to waive those requirements after the fact. You know, I'll agree to that because everyone agrees that the affordability plan is the Bible here. The affordability plan is what governs everything here. There's no contest here. The affordability plan is the controlling document. Period. The end of question. But then he says the next sentence, nor does it allow a later amended compliance report to retroactively cure a non-compliant conveyance. The affordability plan says nothing at all about not being able to amend anything. People amend everything all the time. People amend their tax returns. People amend deeds when they have the wrong legal description. In court, after a trial, if you've proven facts that are beyond what you've pleaded in your complaint, the judge will allow you to amend your complaint to conform to the evidence. For him to say, with nothing there, and we'll go to the Schedule E of the affordability plan, for him to say that you're not allowed to amend is just, there's nothing to back that up at all. There's zero to back it up. Let's go on to page 4. He talks about, and you gotta get down to the middle of the page 4, where it says in January 25. Does everyone see that? It's right in the very middle in January 2025. Mr. Tatangelo submitted amended compliance reports and asserted that earlier reports were inaccurate. And he says the board should not treat those later materials as curing a violation. Well, why not? If you're not accurate, everyone wants accurate information. I'm going to show you where even, unfortunately, the affordability plan has errors in it. And it's going to have to be amended because there are clear errors in the affordability plan. I was not involved in this matter to begin with. Russo and Rizzio were the ones who drafted the affordability plan. They're the ones who gave it to the Planning and Zoning Commission, and the Planning and Zoning Commission approved the affordability plan. So if we go down 2 more paragraphs, it says the plan requires eligibility to be determined through the administrator's process, and Mr. Tatangelo is the administrator at the time of the application. A later amendment cannot change whether the required eligibility occurred when it was supposed to occur. Well, of course it can be changed because the Planning and Zoning Commission has a right to audit. If you're not going, if you're not have the ability to change it, what's the purpose of auditing it? You want accuracy here. If I go down to the last paragraph, he talks about the 2025 amended reports were prepared and submitted years after the conveyance. Well, all of this stuff, all of these violations came years after Mr. Tatangelo had owned the property. He's owned this property since 2018. The first thing that ever came up was in 2022, 4 years after he owned the property. Well, if you find an error, you correct it. I don't know why the town waited 4 years to correct the issue, but now in 2026 is 8 years after he's owned the property. So it's not that he wants retroactive effect of these things, he wants it to be correct. And it says that the zoning enforcement officer was not obligated to accept those amended reports as a retroactive substitute for compliance. Well, of course, the zoning officer is required to accept them. It's a ministerial duty to accept them. They can't just say, I'm not going to take these papers. Now, the zoning enforcement officer doesn't have to believe them. He has to take them as part of the record. You walk in, you go to record something on the land records, they have no choice but to take it. It's a ministerial duty. But if he doesn't believe what he's getting, he has a right to audit. That's why it says the right to audit. And it also talks about 401, W-2 wages for Michael in the last paragraph. That's going to be something you're going to have to really wrestle with, because it's my opinion that W-2 wages are not a payroll deduction under the law. And I'm going to give you a memo on that. Mr. Pierce, on the other hand, says it is a payroll deduction. Well, I say it's not a payroll deduction. I'll argue it later, but I say it's not a payroll deduction because you never pay any taxes on it, you never pay any Medicare on it, you never pay any Medicaid on it, you never pay any state tax on it. It's like you didn't earn the money. And we did this in order to try and comply. I think Mr. Tatangelo actually calculated everything properly. The more I go over it, the more I believe he calculated it all properly. So that's what I wanted to go over as far as Mr. Carroll's letter. But what I really want to do is ask you to turn to the affordability plan to back up what I just said. Because I'm not going to tell you anything I don't really believe or anything that I don't think is true or accurate. The affordability plan in our binder for the first one is number 11. Okay, and this is the affordability plan that was in place when Mr. Tatangelo bought his property. Okay, that was back in 2018. And I said to you that one part of it I said to you is that the verification of the applicant, okay? The administrator is required to do all of that, okay? But if I go to, let me just get to exactly the right page for you guys. If I go to Roman numeral XVI, okay, this is super important. Roman numeral XVI. It's right before all the schedules start to pop up. And I'll just look up to see when you guys get to XVI. It was never I've never seen a paginated copy of it.
It's enforcement, yeah.
Enforcement, XVI enforcement.
Just go by numbers. You probably went too far. It's over here.
It's before the schedules.
It's about a third of the way in tab number 11.
Okay. Does everyone have XVI enforcement? And I really want to read this for the record. A violation of the affordability plan shall not result in forfeiture of title, but the Fairfield Planning and Zoning Commission, you see where it says Fairfield Planning and Zoning Commission, can't be any planner that says Fairfield Planning and Zoning Commission, shall otherwise retain all enforcement powers. All enforcement powers. Okay? Granted by General Statute 8-12, which powers include but are not limited to the authority at any reasonable time to inspect the property, examine the books and records of the administrator to determine compliance of the housing opportunity unit with the affordable housing regulations. Okay? So the town of Fairfield doesn't have the willy-nilly authority to just do whatever they want to do. That would be like them doing your job and usurping your authority. They cannot usurp the authority of the Planning and Zoning Commission. Planning and Zoning Commission is not allowed to just delegate authority to the town to do their job. They are elected officials. Those elected officials have to do their job. So I don't think that Mr. Decker's orders at all are even allowable. I think they're all void ab initio, okay? That's a technical argument. I had to make it. I have to make it to preserve the record, okay? So I'm done with that part of the questioning. So I went through Mr. Carroll's letter with you, why I think it's not accurate. Oh, wait a minute, hold on one second. I'm leaving something else out. Oh, he also says, about, I'm gonna go back to tab 11. I apologize to you all. Where Mr. I'm gonna go to now Exhibit E. And that's like, that would be like that's the next to the last page of the Schedule E. Because in Mr. Carroll's letter, he cites,
Keep going this way.
nor does a later amended compliance report to retroactively cure, nor does it allow a later amended compliance report to retroactively cure a non-compliant conveyance.
Excuse me, could you just tell us where you are in
Sure,
Schedule E?
I'm back to Mr. Carroll's letter,
No, you said you're in Schedule E.
Schedule E.
Yeah, and where are you reading from?
Okay, I am reading from Mr. Carroll's letter, where he says that, at the bottom, Mr. Carroll says Exhibit A, Schedule E.
Okay.
Okay. So Exhibit A is the of the affordability plan.
Of the letter, what
On
page
the
of the
left,
letter?
it is page number 3, next to the last paragraph.
IV.
Right. It is the next to the bottom paragraph where it says, nor does it allow a later amended compliance report to retroactively cure a non-compliant conveyance. And he says, it's Exhibit A, and then he says Schedule E, and Schedule E is off of the affordability plan, which is tab 11.
Okay.
And nowhere in Schedule E does it say that you cannot amend, change, fix, cure a misfiling. It just doesn't say it. And there's no law that he's given that says you can't cure an error. So those are the technical things I wanted to bring up. I also wanted to bring up another matter on the affordability plan, which we all agree is the Bible here, okay? Get to it. On the affordability plan, let me see if I can tell you exactly where, after it says VII, the application process, we gotta go to the page after VII. Are we to VII? I know I've handled these documents, it's all new to you guys, I get that.
There are two VII.
Well, yeah, that's a problem too, isn't it? As I said, I didn't draft this, okay? I'm coming in after the fact. There's two VIIs, thank you. But after the second VII, go to the next page, if you will. We're talking about application form. And the last sentence, this is a problem that the town better amend it because they're looking for trouble. And I don't know how many other affordability plans it's in. That the applicant's income need not be verified annually to determine what is not to be included in the definition of family. And in audit, it talks about that. Well, for a sale property, I agree. When you do a sale property, it's a snapshot in time. What is the person's income? The person wins the lottery the next day, they win $10 million, they don't lose their affordable housing because they're a title holder to it. But for renters, you need to verify the income annually. And in this affordability plan, it says the applicant's income need not be verified annually. Re-verified annually. Well, we all know from knowing affordable housing, It's a year deal with a tenant. It's what your annual income is. You have to qualify annually as an affordable rental tenant under 830G. Under this plan, if this property gets rented, under this affordability plan, they never have to get re-verified. So a person comes in making underneath their amount, and then they get a massive bonus, and they start making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. They don't have to get re-verified. That's just wrong. That should be corrected. And then, if you look at, if you finish the paragraph, it says, the administrator shall use the criteria as set forth in HUD and listed in Schedule B. I ask you all to go to Schedule B of the affordability plan. This is worse than VII, twice. Is everyone at Schedule B?
Yes.
Well, Schedule B is not the HUD calculation plan. Schedule B is the specifications for a 3-bedroom townhouse opportunity unit to be sold to 80% median income. All right, why? How'd this happen? How'd this get through? How is anybody supposed to know by looking at the affordability plan what the HUD income schedules are? It's not listed there. It's supposed to be there. It's supposed to be able to see it. It's supposed to be able to go through it. Buyers are supposed to be able to see this and go through it. It is not there. It is absolutely not there. So we have problems with the affordability plan, which is the universe of this appeal. Okay, that's the fountainhead of this. That's the fountainhead of this appeal. So that's all I really have to say about the affordability plan. That's what I have to say about your authority to hear this about planning and zoning not issuing orders. And I'd like to question Matt Decker next about how, why, and how this all came about.
I don't know. So he wants to ask you direct questions right now? So.
You got advice on the procedure.
So they want to ask Matt direct questions right now.
You can call him as a witness if that's what he intends to do.
Okay.
That's the purpose of it, that's fine.
Okay.
Who wants to swear him in? Phil, you want to swear your client in, or Louis? Carol, you want to swear him in? You want me to swear him in?
I'll swear him in.
Yeah, Jim, why don't you do it?
Matt, would you raise your right hand? You swear that the testimony that you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Mr. Decker, we've met before in town hall a couple times just to say hello in passing, right?
Yes, sir.
And you are the zoning enforcement officer?
I am.
And have you read the affordability plan concerning Westway Road LLC?
Not in detail, no.
Well, I just need you to answer my question, though. Have you ever read it, cover to cover?
Again, not in detail.
Okay, what does that mean? Explain that in detail. I need these people to understand that.
I've read some of it, but not all of it.
Okay, what parts have you read?
I don't recall, but it's been a while since I've looked at it.
Did you read it before you issued your notices violation?
Part of it, based on the information that I was provided by the town attorney, Wilson Carroll, yes.
So this was back in 2022 when you sent out your initial violation notices?
The original notices that were sent out were directed to me by the town attorney with research that was done by their office.
The original attorney back in 2022 was Jim Baldwin, right?
Correct.
And that's Mr. Baldwin now who's the attorney for this commission.
Correct.
And so he represented you back in 2022 as well.
As the town attorney, you did, yes.
And in 2022, he prepared the notice of violation?
You did.
And what did he tell you to do with it? Tell you just to sign it?
Sign it,
You didn't prepare it.
read it, sign it, and send it.
You read it?
It was a one-page document.
So you did read the notice of violation 2022?
Yeah, the violations are in my folder, yes.
I'll get to those. We're gonna use those as exhibit. And the 2024 violation notices, who prepared those for you?
They were prepared by the town attorney
Who
and
was that?
Phil Pierce at that time.
And he told you to sign it, correct?
Yes.
Did you read that before you signed it?
One-page document I did.
It wasn't a one-page document.
The document that I had signed, that I sent out. Sorry, 3 pages. In this case, well, the first one from, you're referring to 24?
Let's cut to the chase and go right to 26. Let's go right to 2026.
489 had my order to compliance before. It was a 3-page attachment with my cover letter of the notice of violation.
And you read that prior to sending it out?
Yes.
Mr. Tatangelo?
Yes.
And you read it for Mr. Liskov too?
Correct.
Do you know how to spell Mr. Tatangelo's name?
Without looking at it, no.
Okay, why don't you tell the board how you spell Mr. Tatangelo's name? Look at it, look at what you wrote. Look at what was prepared for you.
Tangelo.
That's not right, is it? Put an extra N in there, right? Tangelo, it's not Tantangelo, it's Tatangelo.
Okay.
You're familiar with him, you've known him for years, haven't you?
I never spelled his name out.
You've read documents with his name on them before, though, haven't you?
To my knowledge, no.
Why did you send these letters out to him on Scenic Hill Road in Trumbull?
These are the addresses that were listed under, I can't quite remember where I found them, but that's.
I'll tell you what it is, it's his daughter's address, isn't it?
I don't know. That's the mailing address that was listed.
And Westway Road LLC, that's 41 Scenic Hill Road also, isn't it?
It is
Then you send out to Westway Road, a P.O. Box in Monroe, correct?
correct,
Then you sent something to Florida, correct?
correct.
And who told you to put all those addresses on there? Or Mr. Pierce just is the one who added all of those?
I don't recall.
And what, let's cut to the chase a little bit more even. No, let's keep on going for a couple of other things. So Mr. Pierce told you to sign this order this is exhibit number 14 in our book for Mr. Tatangelo. It is the 2016 notice of violation. I'm sorry, January 29, 2016 notice of violation.
2026.
2020. I'm sorry, I apologize. Not doing it intentionally. I'm just looking at a lot of different things. January 29, 2026. So Mr. Pierce told you to sign it and send it out, correct?
Correct.
And Mr. Pierce is the one who prepared it, correct?
Correct.
And where did this happen? Where were you when you spoke to him about the notice of violation? Where were you?
My office.
And remember the date of that conversation when he told you to sign it, send it out?
I do not. I believe it was through email, but I would have to double check to confirm. But
Was he in person or was it through email?
I see him, we've talked about a number of different things. I honestly can't remember if this was done through email or in person. Either way, it was asked of me to sign it and send it.
Did the Planning and Zoning Commission ever order you to send these orders out?
No.
And there was no.
I work on behalf of the planning and zoning
Yes.
commission, but
So
again, the direction comes from where it comes.
you just got to answer my questions. They'll have plenty of time to redirect you and cross-examine you and everything else to get the information out.
Yeah.
But so the Planning and Zoning never ordered you to issue this order, correct?
You mean if someone from the
The
commission?
commission, no,
itself
not the
called me?
commission. The commission speaks as a whole.
Right.
No individual commissioner has any authority to do anything.
Right.
I think everyone here knows that as well on their board. The ZBA acts as a body of the whole. They don't act as a body of individual members, okay?
Yep.
So did the Planning and Zoning Commission ever order you to issue this notice of violation?
If it comes through my office, I would say yes.
Okay.
which would.
What, if that happened, what date was the hearing where they held it to order you to do it?
I don't believe there was a hearing.
Okay, so there's no hearing telling you to do it, and there was no order by the body of the whole of the Planning and Zoning Commission telling you to send out the order either, correct?
Just by staff and the town attorney.
Just by whose staff?
Jim went to the original one, who was the director of the Planning and Zoning Committee,
So
department.
you're talking about the 2022 one, though.
2022 and then 2024 by Emmeline Harrigan, who was our director.
You think Emmeline Harrigan was here in 2024 as a director?
You weren't then? I can't remember what year she.
2025.
25.
Okay, you want to retract there's Emmeline Harrigan who ordered you to do it?
Well, then it was Jim Went on 2024.
And you don't have anything, you don't have any documents or any written correspondence where Jim went or the Planning and Zoning Commission ordered you to issue these orders, correct?
Other than what I have in my folders, no.
The answer is no, you don't have anything, right?
Other than what I have in my folder is no.
And you were ordered to bring all your documents here today by a subpoena, correct? About if anything that concerned this issuance, correct?
I've got two, yeah, I've got them right here.
Okay, and there's nothing in your folder that shows that Jim Went ordered you to sign these or that Emmeline Harrigan ordered you to sign these
I was asked to sign them, and I signed them, and I sent them.
by the city attorney.
Correct.
City attorney's not,
The city attorney and Jim Went, and then Emmeline Harrigan, they work in unison together. I discuss everything with staff before I send it out. And that's what I did, and signed it and sent it.
before you issued your orders, did you review the submissions by Westway Road LLC about the affordability and who they conveyed these properties to?
No,
What documents did you review prior to issuing your orders?
the letter that was provided to me that was being attached to the order.
What letter?
All the attachments.
Okay, so I'm looking at Exhibit 14.
3 pages here.
I'm looking at Exhibit 14 for everybody. And that says notice of violation on it, on the first page, correct? Dated January 29th, 2026, correct?
What page are you on?
I am on your order, notice of violation. It is dated January 29th, 2026.
Well, yeah, I've got that right here, so yes.
So, and it has your signature on it, correct?
Yes,
And it has Chris Rogers, he's your assistant enforcement officer?
that's correct.
And you put Pat Mahoney, the chief building official, on there. Why'd you put him on there?
I attach him to a number of things just for the purpose of his knowledge of enforcements that we send out.
How many enforcements do you do a year typically?
It varies every year. It could be 10, it could be 25.
And it's true the Planning and Zoning Commission usually tells you to issue those orders, correct?
No,
You do it on your own.
that's my job.
And you're aware that Mr. Tatangelo filed amended certifications in this matter, correct?
That was done after I sent out my letter, yes. I
You
believe.
can, you can answer my question without the extra language to it. Mr. Tatangelo filed the amended certifications, didn't he?
It was done to my office. He didn't file them to me.
He
so
sent them certified mail to you, didn't he?
To me?
Yeah, to
Directly?
you, directly to you. I have your signature on the card. You want to see it? You don't remember getting certified mail?
I get a lot of mail, unfortunately. I don't recall that one. I would have just handed it off to the.
Exhibit number 17. Number 17 in our exhibits. Can I approach the witness, Madam Chair, to show him his signed signature here on the certified mail?
Do you want to see it, Matt?
I can come to you if you like.
No, I'll come here.
It's easiest.
Yeah, you can.
I'm not disputing it. That's not my signature.
Whose signature is it?
That's not mine.
Okay.
This is my signature right here.
It was done to you, though. It said, okay.
This is my
I'll
signature.
I'll accept your word on it. If you tell it to me it's not your signature, I accept that. I can't make out people's signatures sometimes. When it's done to you, says certified mail, and it's signed for,
Right.
I assume that the mailman delivers it to the person who's supposed to sign for it.
I did not sign for
I
it.
accept that from you. You're sworn here to tell the truth. I understand that. And you don't know whose signature that is, who accepted the
It could
certified
have been the
mail?
mail clerk, I'm not sure honestly, whoever receives the mail for the town.
And you don't remember ever seeing it, the amended certifications?
I did not know.
Who keeps the records for the amended for the certifications in general? Where are they kept?
That's a good question. I don't know exactly where they're held. I don't know if it's my office or economic development.
You really don't know where they keep the certifications? You've been doing this for how many years?
The affordability plan, that was not under my purview. It was under the director's purview.
That would be Jim Went at the time?
Yes.
He's retired subsequently.
Yes.
And did you ever talk to Glenn Tatangelo before issuing any of your orders, whether the 22 order, the 24 order, or the 26 order?
No.
Let me go back to that for 1 minute. Sorry to be jumping around, but. Go to 14 again, which is the 2026, the last one, the operative one. You see in the middle where it says note of exhibit, the first page of exhibit 14, where it says note, and it's the last paragraph, it says, you may avail yourself of the consultative services of the zoning offices of any questions as to the manner and time for establishing compliance. Do you see that?
Which page are you on? I'm
First
sorry.
page, where it's under note. It's really, it's after C
Oh,
attachment.
yes,
and
sorry,
note.
yes, sorry. Yep.
So basically, you're beckoning people to come into your office to talk to you, to see if you can resolve this before you go forward with hearings, right?
Yes.
Did Glenn Tatangelo come to your office in the beginning of May and ask to meet with you and bring documentation, try and resolve this matter?
He did.
And you wouldn't meet with him, correct?
Not that I wouldn't meet with him. It was not, what he was looking to provide us was not something that I was going to take. It was going to be through the town attorney and or the director.
You told him you wouldn't meet with him and look at his documentation, and you told him you're not meeting with him because you're represented by an attorney. Those are your direct quotes. He's going to testify to, so you might as well say what the truth is.
Again, I don't remember the conversation other than I said no.
Really, a guy comes in who is in a fight for his life, for his house. He comes in to see you. He comes in to talk to you. He comes in to bring you documentation based upon your note where come on in and bring me stuff, and you turn him away. And you don't remember saying that you're represented by an attorney, you're not taking his documents.
Again, I don't remember.
That was
I
just-
had many conversations with many people regarding many different things, and I remember not taking any of his information, but I don't recall saying what you're saying. I'm not saying I didn't say it, but
Who else was there with Mr. Tatangelo?
honestly, there was someone else, I just can't remember who it was.
It was the building official, Pat Mahoney, who was there with him. You know Mr. Mahoney, don't you?
I do.
So how can you not? This is just in the beginning of May. We're just in the beginning of August. So you got May to June, June, July, less than 3 months ago. You can't remember any of
It
this?
was a 1-minute conversation, and, I apologize, I just don't recall, I know there was another person there, I couldn't remember who it was.
But for Mr. Tatangelo, it's a really important conversation. He's fighting for his life and keeping his house. And you-
Yeah, But I wasn't prepared for the meeting, I wasn't prepared for any conversation, he shows up in my counter,
Well, who brought him to
doesn't
you?
schedule,
Who
doesn't
brought him
schedule
here?
an appointment, and in which case I didn't have anything with me, so I wasn't gonna take,
But you didn't get another time to meet, did you?
he didn't ask for one either.
Okay, it's just, sorry, they get it. They get it. And you don't remember how he got to your counter?
He walked in.
No, he didn't. Mr. Mahoney brought him to your office, didn't he?
I don't know, he was at my counter when I went out of my office.
Okay, well, you're gonna hear testimony that the building official brought Glenn Tatangelo to your office, okay? That's what's gonna happen, that's what's gonna happen. He has a much better recollection of what happened than you do. Okay, you realize that Mr. Tatangelo is possibly subject to a fine of $150 a day for these violations, correct?
Yeah, it's on the front page of the notice of violation. 2 sentences
Yep,
ago.
yep, I got it, yep, $150 a day, and then it's just on another page.
If it's a willful violation, there could be potentially jail time, correct?
In my time, I would have to say that has never happened, but yes.
These are your forms. You're not familiar with what they say. You said you do them 10, 20, maybe 25 a year. You really don't know what these forms say?
Again, I read them, not verbatim.
I also filed a freedom of information request with you. Do you remember getting that?
Got this one?
No, that's a subpoena to be here today.
How did you follow the other form?
I went to the counter and handed it to, you were not there that day, Emmeline got it, and then I got notice of it that you got it. So I filed a freedom of information request with you for Glenn Tatangelo and for Michael Liskow. Do you remember that? You remember seeing a freedom of information request?
May 11th?
No, that's from the commission saying a complaint was filed with them.
I don't believe I have it here.
Okay. You do have the notice, though, that a complaint was filed against you for not complying with the Freedom of Information request from the Freedom of Information Commission. I saw that document in your file.
Is that the appearance that you're referring to, or is that?
That was the sheet of paper you had that had the crest of the Freedom of Information Commission. I held it up as black, very big black and white. That's it. That's from the Freedom of Information Commission. You don't have a problem reading, do you? You're able to read, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure because you're kind of, you don't read things verbatim and you don't remember things.
Attorney Liskoff, this is not appropriate. You're.
Well, I just want to make sure. I don't want to beat him up if he has a problem, because the problem is.
Mr. Liskoff, can you move on?
I'll move on. That's fair. That's fair. I'll move on. Now, Jim Baldwin was your attorney for these violations back in 2022, correct?
So yes,
And now he's the attorney for the Zoning Board of Appeals.
correct.
So he was your attorney as a prosecutor, and now he's the attorney for the judge of this matter. You see any problem with that, with due process and fairness?
No.
Yeah, I'll speak for myself, Attorney Liskoff, and the answer is absolutely no.
I have to get these things out for later, in case, I told you there's some things I'm not gonna like to say, but I have to say them to create a record. So I'm getting the record, okay, as to what may happen in the future. What steps did you take personally yourself to investigate these violations? What did you do as the zoning enforcement officer to investigate these violations?
These violations were brought to my attention by the town attorney, in which case I then took their information and sent it out in the violation.
Okay. So the answer is you did nothing to investigate these violations personally?
No, I did not, sir.
I don't think I have any other questions for Mr. Decker at this time. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call Mark Barnhart.
We have a opportunity to ask questions to Mr.
Oh, I thought we were gonna do it all at one time. Okay,
I
that's,
think it's only appropriate, Attorney Liskov.
that's fine, I have no problem, but that was, you weren't here when they said how we were gonna proceed. She said we we're gonna do all of our stuff first, then we we're gonna go all the other stuff.
It's like
But I
a,
didn't-
it's like a
I
trial.
don't
He
have-
has
I
the
don't- I don't have a
opportunity
problem
to.
with it, I'm just telling you what, I'm not trying to mess up
Okay.
with what you're doing.
I didn't know you were going to call a witness. So now that
Oh, I
you've
got
called
it.
a witness, so please.
Good afternoon, Mr. Decker.
Good afternoon.
Isn't it true that you are authorized to enforce the zoning regulations of the town of Fairfield?
Yes, I am.
And that authority was granted to you expressly by regulation section 30.1.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay, and does your enforcement authority also extend to conditions of approval of applications?
Yes.
Do you need the commission's approval to, or them to have a formal vote before you take any enforcement action?
I do not.
Okay. And are you aware that there's also an inclusionary zoning requirement in the regulations?
Yes.
And that requirement also requires 10% affordable units, which in this case would be 2 units, right?
Correct.
And that's the same as what's in the affordability plan?
That is correct.
Okay. You did in fact respond to that FOIA request that Attorney Liskov referenced, and you provided documents?
Yes.
He said he couldn't remember. It's amazing, I got the
Attorney
cross-examiner now.
Liskov, this is, you can
It's
do
amazing.
redirect if you want.
I will, it's just amazing, you can't remember anything.
So
else.
we'll
Attorney
let-
Liskov, please.
You got it.
No further questions, Mr. Decker.
Okay. Would you like to now redirect?
Sure, just a quick, I have one question. I just have one really simple question. How do you remember from Mr. Carroll that you worked on the FOIA request? When you testified to me, you didn't even remember getting it. What refreshed your recollection that you magically remembered gathering documents when Mr. Carroll asked you, but when I asked you, I don't remember an FOI request.
Came to my mind.
Came to your mind because he asked you that question and he wanted that answer, isn't that correct?
No.
Okay, I have no, you all get it, I have no other question.
Okay, and you're all set? Okay, so you're going to move on now?
Yep.
Okay.
I'd like to call Mr. Mark Barnhart to testify, but I was informed today by Mr. Decker that, was it Mr. Decker who told me? I think Mr. Decker told me, that Mr. Barnhart is on an airplane to Chicago. He did not call me to tell me he was gonna be on an airplane to Chicago, and he's been subpoenaed to be here today to bring documents. So I'm gonna pass on that. I'm gonna continue to put my case on. We'll talk to council about what we do about Mr. Barnhart willfully violating the order of a subpoena, not showing up, and not even giving us the courtesy of a call telling us, hey, Attorney Liskov, my telephone number's on the subpoena.
Could you just state for the record Mr. Barnhart's role in the town of Fairfield?
Sure, Mr. Barnhart is Economic Development Director, and he's intimately associated with 830G projects.
Okay, so I guess the attorneys can talk later about Mr. Barnhart not appearing with a subpoena?
Well, I mean, my proposal would be that, our proposal would be that we hold the hearing open so you can call him. And you told me that you were aware he wasn't going to be here. You sent me an email that you knew he was away.
No, that was Mr. Avalone said he wasn't gonna be here, not Mr. Barnhart. Mr. Avalone said he wasn't available. Mr. Barnhart never sent an email or,
I thought that's what your email was.
I respect you. Phil, you and I get along great.
So what do you mean, what are you
If he
saying?
wants to call Mark, I mean, we're fine holding the hearing open. so
That means after today, that would then be added to this hearing when
It'll be
he
a second.
gets a conversation?
Yes.
And then how will the redirection occur if necessary for Mr. Barnhart?
I mean, the examination and redirection would occur at the next
Yeah.
meeting.
Okay, so everyone would come back? Oh, good, okay.
It's just, if you violate a subpoena, you have the right to go to court, ask for a capias and having the person arrested. I don't wanna do that.
If somebody has a vacation scheduled and we get the summons
Let
on
us know.
Monday.
Let us
I
know.
mean, it's
He didn't
just
give us
like-
the courtesy of letting us know he has all our.
Okay, I don't think that matters, we're gonna move on.
Okay, so I have a whole examination of Mark Barnhart that I'm not gonna go through. I'm gonna start with Mr. Tatangelo now,
So
okay?
he's now going to be your
He's
witness?
my witness.
So he needs to be sworn in?
Yeah. Glenn, raise your hand. You solemnly swear the evidence you have given in the case now in question will be the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you under penalty of perjury.
Okay, and based on procedure now, after you have this witness, then you can cross-examine the witness, okay?
Correct.
Point of order, could we ask the witnesses questions?
We are not going to ask any questions till the end of this whole argument, and I don't know if, as a board, we can ask questions directly to witnesses.
You can.
Okay, so if we want to do that, we will do that at the very end.
Okay.
Okay?
I have a feeling you're probably going to ask questions after you get a chance to synthesize all the information that you're going to be receiving today, because there is a lot to digest. Mr. Tatangelo, can you please tell the commission how old you are?
67 years old.
And can you tell them where you grew up?
Yes, I grew up on
Keep your voice up, because we're getting recorded.
262 Putting Green Road in Fairfield.
And Mr. Tatangelo, where's your primary residence located?
461.
Keep your voice up. I gotta have you keep your voice up.
It might
461.
be better if he goes and stands, because the microphone's right there, and then we can all see him.
Yeah, I'd like, go ahead, do
And
what
then
you
you
can.
can see him better when you talk to him.
Yeah, I can hear, I don't have to
Yeah.
look at him, I'll just listen.
That's fine. Thank you.
Trial lawyers don't really look, they kind of listen and process information.
I live at 461 Westway Road in Southport since December of 2018.
And Mr. Tatangelo, is that your primary residence?
Yes, it is.
And how did you come to purchase the property at 461 Westway Road?
I was a member of the development company, and at the time, I was in need of housing in Fairfield. I did not have a primary residence. My 88-year-old mom had been diagnosed with cancer. Unfortunately, had to be operated on, and she lost her leg to cancer. And since my dad had passed away, I am the youngest of the 3 children, and I'm the one who took care of her.
Do you have another brother?
Yeah, I got a brother in California, and I have a sister in Alaska. And I've taken care of my parents
Okay.
forever.
And explain so that's the reason why you bought the property at 461 Westway Road?
Yes, I needed a primary residence in Connecticut, much less I have now 11 grandchildren.
And so at some point in time, it came up, the town started to claim that this wasn't your primary residence, correct?
Yes.
And that first came up in what year, do you remember?
Well, the first accusations of things were in 2022. We had done some inappropriate things.
Okay, let's go to the 2022. And I think that is under tab number 13. It's August 2022, August 22nd, 2022. That's a lot of twos. Twos are wild. To go to tab 13. So you have that with you, Mr. Tatangelo?
I do.
Okay, and that's, as I said, it's dated, it's been at the Westway Road LLC, correct?
Yes.
And it was sent out to care of Raymond Rizzio as the agent for service, correct?
Correct.
And Jim Baldwin was the town attorney at the time, correct?
Apparently, yes.
And it says, under the note, it says, if you believe this note is an error, contact Matthew C. Decker, Director, Office of Community and Economic Development. He's not the Director of Economic Development and Community Development back in 2022, is he? It's Mr. Barnhart.
That's correct.
Did you contact Mr. Barnhart or did you contact Mr. Decker?
I
About, well, let's just track it, I'm sorry. So in the page 2 of the order to comply zoning office, it has 4 violations up top on the second page of Exhibit 13. You see those 4 violations?
Yes.
Can you tell the board what they are and if those violations were proper?
We provided to Jim Wendt and Attorney Rizzio provided to Jim Baldwin all documentation confirming that everything was done properly. In reference to the marketing, we provided tear sheets for the Connecticut Post, which are a part of the statute that states you have to put in 2 times if you're doing rental or 2 times if you're doing for sale. It has to be in the legal notices. And we did provide the tear sheets to Mr. Attorney Baldwin and Mr. Wendt. I also provided documentation proving that we had properly screened applicants, that we communicated with them. I gave them all the certified letters that we had done and any communication with anybody that we prioritized properly. I got contacted by, and I get calls all the time, anytime I'm doing these. Mark Barnhart calls me, Jim Went calls me and says, hey, I got a call from somebody, and is it okay to give him your number? A lot of times it's while we're in zoning, and yes, I was able to do that, and I did that properly. And then failure to submit written status reports was bizarre because I put them in every year that they referred to them. And Jim went, accepted all the documentation, gave it to Mr. Baldwin, and at the time, we were going to go forward with the ZBA hearing. And next thing I know, we were taking off the request to do the hearing, and in 2022, I heard nothing. We never heard anything ever again about this. Jim told me in writing, he thanked me for sending annual reports to him in a timely manner.
So that 2022, those notices of those four orders to comply. You complied, you took an appeal, and then the matter was resolved. Nothing ever went forward, correct?
You know, yeah, I assume between Jim Went, Ray Rizzio, and Jim Baldwin, they never pursued it, so I never heard anything differently. I provided the documents.
Let's go back now to something a little less ethereal and a little more meat and potatoes, as we'll call it. I want you to be able to prove to this board that your primary residence since 2018 has been 461 Westway Road. In exhibit number 1, you've attached your voter registration.
Where are you?
Exhibit number 1. Under the Tangelo
Okay.
cover sheet.
Yes,
You registered to vote, right, Mr. Tangelo?
I did.
Why did you register to vote?
Well, when I was with Mark Barnhart, he had requested a list of things. So I pulled everything together to show him that I live here. And he gave me this list and said, please just go get this information.
So Mr. Barnhart gave you a laundry list of what he wanted to see to prove your primary residence?
Yes.
And one of them was the register to vote.
Right.
Let's go to tab number 2. And Mr. Tangelo, tab number 2 is a copy of your driver's license, correct?
Yes,
Now, this is a relatively new driver's license, correct?
it is.
And why did you go get a new driver's license?
Because I had lived in Florida, okay, and I was moving to Connecticut, and Mark said, you got to get a license here, and I was like, don't make me go to the motor vehicle, and he said, please go to motor
Well, in
vehicle.
2018, you only got a new driver's license recently, correct?
I did, yeah.
Why did you wait so long to get a new driver's license?
I didn't want to go to motor vehicle.
Why did you want to go to motor vehicle, Mr.
I hate motor
Tangelo?
vehicle. They're not organized, they waste it, you know, it takes forever
Okay,
to spend
the
days
board
down
gets
there.
it, the board gets it. I'll move on, I won't belabor it. How about tab number 3? This is where you have your automobile insurance, correct, Mr. Tangelo, for your vehicle?
Yes.
What is the vehicle, Mr.
It's a
Tangelo?
2011 Lexus SUV with 165,000 miles on it.
And that's the car you have here as your car in
That's my car.
And, as far as registering to vote, you realize it's a crime to register to vote if you're not a resident, correct?
Absolutely.
You wouldn't commit a crime to register to vote, would you?
No.
How about, let's look at the next tab, which is number 4. That's actually the registration of your vehicle, correct?
Correct.
That's the Lexus you were talking about.
Yep.
How about number 5? What is number 5? That's your mortgage on the property with Newtown Savings Bank, Mr. Tangelo?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And that's for a residential property that you've sworn to. That's your primary residence,
It
correct?
says it right there, 461 Westway Road.
And the loan documents with your primary residence, correct?
Correct.
That mortgage, how long has that mortgage been out for? Do you remember how long you've had that mortgage out for?
I would say 5 or 6 years.
Go to tab number 6. You gave the board a couple of electric bills that you're able to find, correct?
Yes, I did.
They have your name on it and your address at 461 Westway Road, correct?
Yes.
Tab number 7, you went and got yourself a beach sticker.
I did.
Okay, that says you're at 461 Westway Road. Then tab number 8, you have a letter from one of your neighbors,
Yes.
Andreas Papadatos. Tell the board who Mr. Papadatos is.
Andy is a resident at the Village of Southport, okay, is the name of the condominium association. And he lives at 485, and he is a board of director of the homeowner association. And as he says in his letter, they're always calling me for questions. Because I was involved in development, I consulted for that company.
And Mr. Papadatos says you live there as your primary residence, right?
He does, he says, he said what Phil Pierce is saying is, town has received reports from residents that Glenn does not reside at 461 Westway Road, and he says this is not a true statement.
Okay. Tab number 9, you have a letter from William Donegan. Who's Mr. Donegan?
He lives across the street from me. He's also a board member. He lives in the village at 491. And he also says that statement is categorically not true of what Mr. Pierce is saying, Attorney Pierce.
Now, some of the neighbors and you don't like each other. Is that a fair statement?
I don't know if they don't like me.
Well, let's
yeah,
put it this way. You
well-
were the developer of this. You were one of the developers of this project at Westway.
I was a member of
You're a
the
member, okay.
development company as a consultant, and one of the, actually several of the people, just you can't satisfy them. Okay? And
So, do you think it might have been some disgruntled neighbor that was unhappy with you with the way their unit turned out or what they wanted to have done, made these allegations against you?
Yes,
But you're here today and you're telling this commission under this board, sorry, not committee, your board, under penalty of perjury, that this is your primary residence, has been your primary residence since 2018.
yes, it is.
I ask you to go to exhibit number 10. This is an email from Mark Barnhart. And what Mr. Barnhart in that email is instructing you what he wants you to do in order to prove your primary residence, correct?
Yes.
He says, well, you offered to give an affidavit of your primary residence.
Attorney Pierce suggested that would I be willing to sign an affidavit, and I said, sure, just let's present it to me and let me have you take a look at it, and it never materialized.
And Mark Barnhart says, while it may be helpful, it's not enough to establish Westway as your primary residence in instances such as where you have multiple homes. Do you own multiple homes?
I do not have multiple homes.
What's the only piece of real estate that you own, residential real estate that you own in your personal name?
461 Westway Road in Southport.
You don't own any other residential property in your name, correct?
No,
You don't own any commercial property in your name either, do you?
no,
So this is your one and only real estate that you own in your own name.
my primary residence.
Okay. So you don't know where Mr. Barnhart is getting the multiple homes?
No idea. And when I asked him that, he was very vague.
But he says to you further on in your exhibit number 10, he says, we will need documentation such as a passport. Well, that's fallacious because passports don't have your home address on them.
Correct.
A driver's license, giving that to the board. Mr. Barnhart wanted that, you're giving it to the board. Voter registration ID and a tax return. So the tax returns, you're not giving your tax returns to anybody, right, Mr. Tatangelo? You'll let people view them, but you're not giving
The
those
statute
documents.
says I have to allow them to review. And is it okay to explain why?
Yeah, that was my next question to you. Why aren't you giving them a copy of your tax returns?
I was part of a development company for 131 Beach Road, the affordable housing project here. And kind of a strange timing of all of this. But the town had given us unacceptable approvals, which had cut 50% of the roofs off. we had an appeal against the town. Oddly enough, we appealed, and all of these lawsuits or violations seemed to appear 3 months, 4 months right after. We won our appeal. Oddly enough, next thing I know, I've been living in this house since 2018. I receive either order to comply was the first one, I believe, and then the next was a violation. Just a coincidence, you decide if that's true or not. And so I'm in a lawsuit with the town. They kept appealing, the neighbors kept appealing, and the last thing I was going to do was provide my personal data to Phil Pierce and to Mark Barnhart, because just honestly, I don't trust either of them. I had asked Mr. Pierce to not send things to my daughter's house, not send things to my wife in Florida, and he kept doing it. So I just said, I can't trust these guys anymore, and I refused to do it. The only person who has ever seen my tax document was Jim Went. In a meeting with Jim Went, and I just said, Jim, here's my income. It's way below what the number is here. Okay, I conform. And he looked at it and he just shook his head. And he goes, you know what, I'm glad I'm retiring.
All right, so that's all really I have for the board about his primary residence. I think it's pretty clear. Oh, one other question. You heard Mr. Decker's testimony. He has no evidence that you don't live there, correct? He didn't have anything about that. It's not your primary residence.
He didn't ever be talking to him about it.
All right, let's go on to about your qualifying to purchase this property next. I'm just gonna try and keep on moving, okay?
Okay, I just want to know, are you comfortable going all the way through? Or do you want to each have a time to address each topic as they come up with the witness? What's the best way to do it?
He should really
Should go
finish,
all the way
finish
through.
with the witness,
Okay,
and then it's Attorney Pierce's opportunity.
all right, thank you.
And there's no summation of any of the witness's testimony. This is just examination, questions and answers. That's how it should proceed. You agree?
Yeah, I'm doing it. That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, just the commentary sometimes.
I'm just trying to.
You're not testifying,
No,
Mr.
I
Tatangelo
agree.
is testifying.
I agree. I'm not trying to. The next matter, Mr. Tatangelo, and we've been through this already in the affordability plan. I'm gonna try and move through it quickly because we all agree, Mr. Tatangelo, the affordability plan is the Bible of the 830G approval, correct?
Yes.
And Mr. Tatangelo, who drafted this affordability plan?
The law firm of Ray Reggio Russo.
Okay, and you heard my earlier commentary about the errors inside the affordability plan? The errors of it?
Correct, yep.
And you're familiar where it talks about the application form, the error in there?
Yep.
Where it tells you to go to Schedule B to calculate the HUD calculations, but it's really the specs of what a unit looks like?
Yes.
And it was brought out to me that you have 2 VII paragraphs. You saw that, correct?
Yes.
Neither you or I picked that up before today, but you
No.
picked that up today.
But it also says that that you need not re-verify, which is it's completely against 830G. And this document was submitted in a draft form to the town, planning and zoning. They reviewed it, they approve it. I don't approve it, they approve it.
Okay, and Mr. Tatangelo, you already went through what you did as far as trying to advertise the property and qualify people. Can you explain to the board what you did to qualify yourself to be within the income limit to purchase the property at 461 Westway Road?
Yeah, if you look at, there's a gigantic list of things. Most of them don't apply. It's like, do you have a pension? In my case, no. Do you have divorce alimony being paid to me? Do you have Social Security being paid to
Well,
me?
let me just, before you, it's listed there, what you're supposed to do under IX, maximum initial sales price, and how
Oh, you're asking for sale price?
Well, sale price, correct.
Okay.
Sale
Well, to
price.
determine the sale price, what I did was I asked Mark Barnhart even though nowhere in the town documents does it refer to Mark Barnhart or refer to an application or refer to details of how you're qualified, okay? But Jim Wendt had said Mark can handle these. So on February 7th, I asked Jim I'm sorry, I sat down with Mark and I said, okay, what's the procedure of what I need to do? And he specifically said, I'll calculate the value of what you can purchase the property at, okay? And Mark told me the number, and all kidding aside, I actually made a mistake because I believed him. I didn't verify it because I'd never done it before. He told me the dollar amount, and I was able to purchase the price at that dollar amount, which was unfortunately not accurate.
And how did you determine what the income limit was for you to purchase that property?
The income limit is really simple, okay? If you take a look at,
Well, is it simple or is it a formula
Well,
that will appear on the screen?
this unfortunately is set up for Michael, okay? But we'll go over it and you'll see it again, okay? You'll see it in an Excel spreadsheet that was provided to me by Mark Barnhart with all the formulas, okay? But the number one thing, if you turn to, on the affordability plan, maximum initial sale price 1X.
It's IX, it's Roman numeral.
IX, sorry.
So
Sorry,
it's
IX.
number 9.
And you go to calculation steps for 3-bedroom sale at 80%. Number one, you determine the relevant year, okay, of the median income for Fairfield, okay, or the statewide median. And when they say Fairfield, it's a primary metropolitan statistical area, okay? That's what PMSA is. And you take the lower of those two, okay? And then you adjust it for your family size. Well, they don't ask you your family size of what's living in the family. They determine 1.5 bedrooms, 1.5 people per bedroom. That's a standard, okay? That's how you calculate it. There is no other. When you are determining how to qualify, so there's 6 people, that's how you determine it. You then calculate 80%, and if you don't mind, I can walk you through that version of it, even though that's not my version, okay? You can see the two numbers here, 2019 state AMI, and I'll stand here, okay? And the 2019 Bridgeport PMSAI. So you use the lower, which in this case was the state, $100,400. Then you take it, in this case, Mark had referred to it as a 3-bedroom. It is a 4-bedroom. The town has approved that. You put the current interest rate. And this is an Excel spreadsheet, okay? So it has formulas. I can show you the formulas if you'd like, all right? You put the down payment. In Mark's case, he put 20%, which was an error because the affordability plan states 10%. If you'd like to see that, I could show you that in affordability
And
plan.
where is that in the affordability plan? Just so we could see another problem that the town had with coming up with a number as opposed to what you actually did. I think it's X. I think it's in Article X in the affordability plan, number 10, down payment. So you're still in the affordability plan. Go to X.
Yeah, down payment, okay? Mark always referred to that I could put 20% down, which is not the standard. The property, when we purchased it, it was way before me. It was approved by stipulated judgment. I bought it with these details in place.
All right, so that's pretty
And that was
clear.
10%, okay? So
Finish.
yeah, so it's a 10% down payment. The market value, that's a number he used. I don't understand how he got to that number, but I accepted it because he's the one to tell me what to do. You use the property taxes on your right for housing-related expenses, homeowners insurance, association fees, PMI. you have a total of $753.20. When you go to number one, which is identical to what was in that, is in the affordability
You
plan.
can scroll down on your screen so they can see a little bit more technology.
Okay, I want to be able to see the monthly expenses. I'll come back to when we finish, okay? So you have $753 of expenses. That's an important number, okay? Number one, lesser of the statewide or area median. You go to 2019 statewide in Bridgeport, we use statewide, okay, $100,400. In this case, you use 4.5 people living there, 1.5 people per bedroom, okay? The family size adjustment factor per HUD, okay? Included in the document that was sent to me, again, Excel with formulas, it has family size adjustment factors. Since it's 4.5, I have to use in between 100% and 108%, which is 104%. Right? Would just, if I come back to this number, if I clicked on that number, you would see up above, unfortunately, it's very small, but that's where formulas show up if you're
Yeah, we
familiar
can
with
see
Excel.
them. We
Okay.
can see them.
Yep. All right. Then you calculate 80% of the adjusted AMI. So 80% of 104,416 brings you to $83,532.80. And now you're allowed to use 30% for your housing costs. I don't know if you're familiar with 830G, but you're learning it. Okay, this is how it works. All right. Use 30%, which of $83,000 is $25,059.84. So your maximum housing cost, you divide that by 12 months in the year, $2,088.32. You calculate a reasonable monthly housing-related expenses, which was above on the right-hand side. Bring us back down, 753 expenses. And you have the amount available for mortgage, principal, and interest, $1,335. At the time, the rate was 2.75. When we get into the calculations, okay, this was the formula he sent to me, okay, and the amount to be financed. Then you determine you have a $298,000 total value. So this formula was provided to me by Mark Barnhart, and it was told this is what you use to determine that. Then you go to, if you look at the binder,
Yeah, I should go to 12 next.
at 12, okay? This is super easy, okay? This is Department of Housing based on HUD medium incomes. This is posted annually, and they tried to revise it in April of each year. Okay, that's a standard. They do this all the time. This one was revised in 7/13/2018. Okay, and since I'm in the Bridgeport, okay, marketplace, I have 80% of AMI. I have 6 people in the household. It's $87,046 that I am allowed to have income to qualify for the unit that I purchased.
Why are you telling the board it's 6 people? Explain to the board why it's 6 people.
Because in my case, it was a 4-bedroom unit. Okay, in this case, he's using if you lose the formula, he sent me 1, 2, and 3-bedroom analysis. Okay, you can see it here. 1, 2, 3 bedrooms. I had a 4-bedroom. Only thing that changes, 1.5 bedrooms, 1.5 people per bedroom, a total of 6 versus 4.5. So you go to that, and it simply says that's the maximum dollars that whoever's living in that house, as long as they're over the age of 18 and earning, that combined income has to be lower than that.
Okay. Now, Mr. Tangelo, there's a different calculation, the affordability plan, if you're a rental property, correct?
Yes.
Can you explain to the commission, I'm sorry, the board, I want to call you commission, your board. If you can explain to the board what the difference is between the calculation for a rental unit as opposed to that for a unit for sale?
Well, it's interesting. 131 Beach Road is a rental, rental. And we had even invited Emmeline over and Mark Barnhart and what's Tom's name? Tom Ivers, is it? Yeah, okay, Tom Ivers. He's somehow involved in 830G with the town now. He was involved in helping with the moratorium. And while we were there, we were discussing, if you have a one-bedroom and you have 1.5 people, how are you going to have 1.5 people? And they said, well, you have to take the amount of people living there. In this case, if it was 2 people living, a couple living in the bedroom, you qualify that. The big difference is the state of Connecticut tells you the number of what your maximum rent can be, unlike a qualification similar to this. They post a number, that's the maximum. The people have to be below that dollar amount of what they can earn if there's 2 people, and they are allowed to rent if they qualify along with other reasons qualifications.
I'm sure the board's gonna ask questions about that again, but it's just, so, and it's your testimony that based upon your calculations, you were below the income threshold required to buy this property, correct?
Yes.
Mr. Tatangelo, I ask you to go to tab number 15. And can you tell the commission what your tab on number 15 is?
Yeah, this is my 1040, the cover page of my tax return for 2017, and I had a loss of $10,479, obviously qualifying me below, not just the number I come up with, which is the state of Connecticut's number of the $87,000 and change, but also even below what Phil and Mark are trying to tell me is a number of $54,000 or $52,000.
Now, Mr. Tatangelo, no one at the town of Fairfield ever asked to audit your tax returns, did they?
No.
Not orally?
Nope.
Not in writing?
Nope.
If they asked to audit them, would you go there with your accountant and let them audit your tax returns for 2017?
Yeah, let them review them. Yeah, I'm not going to give anything out to them. It doesn't say, it says they can review it, and I would meet with them and let them review.
Okay, and under penalty of perjury, Mr. Tatangelo, this is your income that you filed with the Internal Revenue Service for 2017, correct?
Yes.
Mr. Tatangelo, on tab number 16, can you tell the commission, can you tell the board, I get this right, actually? Can you tell the board what that document is?
Sure. Yeah, this is a document from the accounting firm Cerrone Friedberg, from Michael Joden, who's a CPA. He has represented me for 30 years, previously under Michael Niedermeyer, and they have now, he's become a partner in the firm of Baker Tilly, and it simply says, if my taxable income was less than $52,528, which is the number that both Phil and Mark are telling me was the maximum. I don't agree with that number, but I was able to show that I qualified.
And why don't you agree with that number, the 52,000?
Because, well, they've never showed me why showed me how they came up with that number, okay? What they've done, the only thing I know how to do is take that calculation, which I was given, and use their Excel formula, and I cross-reference to the Department of Housing and the HUD form, and it says 6 people.
Well, I mean, that's not a mistake where they're telling you to qualify at a person and a half per bedroom. That has to be in there for a reason, right, Mr. Tatangelo?
It's the state of Connecticut. It's a state statute.
As far as the next tab, did you file amended certifications with the town concerning both the property at 461 Westway Road and 49 Westway Road?
I did.
And can you explain, and that's attached as tab number 17?
Yes,
And you sent a copy of that to Mr. Decker, and you sent a copy to Attorney Pierce as well, didn't you?
I did. Yep, certified to both of them.
And can you explain to the commission, got it right, why you filed the amended certifications?
Yes. During our discussions with the town, okay, they questioned a few things. And when I looked into the details of who certifies, there's only one person who can certify it, okay? It happens to be me as the administrator of the development company, okay? Unfortunately, I was tied up with my mom. I didn't care much about business. I didn't care about anything but making sure she was set, because I had to teach her how to be involved with her learning how to walk, learning how to drive. And she was a very active 88 up to 94-year-old woman, 92-year-old woman. And that was my focus. And I found out later, okay, they brought it up, that one of the gals that was working in the development company filled out the form. Didn't mention it to me, just did it, okay? And she did it in error. She made errors. She was not qualified, okay? She had no idea what she was doing, but she did it. And I said, fine, we have to correct it. I can't have something that was given to them as wrong, okay? And if you look, the first one is 2025, nothing changes, okay? It references 4 bedrooms, the square footage, 80% AMI, and nothing is changed. 24, simply put, nothing's changed. 23, nothing's changed, okay? 22, nothing's changed. 21 was amended in January 25, okay? Michael Liz Cobb put $54,856. That was the amended tax return after they communicated with Mark Barnhart and with Phil Pierce. I was not involved in the amendment of that, but that was the dollar amount of the amended tax return. If you go to 2020, unchanged. 2019, unchanged. 2018, and this has to be submitted by the end of the January of the following year, in this case, 2019, okay? And I put less than $52,528.
Why did you put that number down, Mr. Tangelo?
Because Phil Pierce and Mark Barnhart were telling me that this is the number I needed to qualify. I don't agree with it. But I put it in there because I thought we were satisfying them with all this information.
You think you should be at the 6-family level and not bound by just the one person in the family, because it tells you to adjust into a six person, correct?
It's a formula that's in the affordability plan, and it was given to me by Mark Barnhart. There's no variable there. That's what it is.
And let's go to Exhibit 19, if you would, Mr. Tangelo.
Sure.
Can you tell the commission what Exhibit 19 is?
Yeah, I had asked Mark for an update, okay, in reference to, we were curious as if we were going to do a for sale or rental on 131, and we also had to be ready to sell the second unit of Westway Road. And I said, can you please provide me the updated calculations? And he says, here are sample calculations for below market rate, that's BMR sale. Units based on 80%. He said, if you're doing 60%, you'd have to need to adjust for the lower income. Feel free to adjust other assumptions as you see fit, because there are a lot of assumptions. There's homeowners insurance, there's association fees, there's, in this case, he left out a really important part, okay? He left out utilities. You gotta include utilities. And if you turn to the next page, this is what he had sent to me. And the reason I highlighted things, because it's quite clear. Okay, he had a 20% down payment, it's only 10. Calculation of family size, 1.5 persons times the number of bedrooms. And then you have a family size adjustment. It was pretty clear.
And as far as you trying to resolve this with Mr. Barnhart, did you try to get in and meet with Mr. Barnhart to try to show him your documents about your primary residence?
Yeah, I tried with Matt, I tried with Mark, I tried with Tom Ivers, and the only person who saw it, as I state in this email, as discussed, I did allow Jim Went to see my $2017 tax
That's under
return.
tab number 19, correct?
Tab 19, before he retired.
So there's a chain of emails here at exhibit number 19. The first one is February 19, 2026. You told Mark Barnhart that you did allow Jim Went to see your 2017 tax return before you retired, correct? And you were mad about Phil sending certified
I
letters to
still am, I think
Water
it's
and White's
disgusting.
house.
I asked him personally to do that in an email, and he completely disregarded it, and that's when we were having really comfortable conversation, and it was just uncalled for.
And you also say in 2019, Jane emailed to Mr. Barnhart, as offered, I will agree to have you view my tax return, but will not provide you with a copy.
Yep,
So you still want to do that, correct?
yes, well, they have it now. Okay. And then after being told they would submit, have me sign an affidavit, and I requested from Phil, 3 times, no response, which is again, very unprofessional. Mark eventually comes and says, an affidavit may be helpful, which they never provided one. So I tried everything I could do. And again, I've been living there since 2018. Now,
So I don't really have many more questions, Mr. DeTangelo. That's his case in chief.
what,
Go ahead. Is there
Can we-
anything else you want to add?
yeah. If you look at the chain of events, very important. Again, 2022 was 3 months after I beat the town and the neighbors in a court. Okay? After appealing. Then, in 2024, I won a Supreme Court decision against the town of Fairfield and the neighbors for approvals. I did nothing wrong. I conformed to the regulations. They just didn't like it, okay? 2-3 months later, maybe 4 months later, I get another threatening thing saying Phil's telling me I'm going to be fined and do all this stuff, okay? And then again in 2026. I don't understand how I'm being treated this way, to be honest with you. I think it's disgusting. That's all I have to say.
That's Mr. DeTangelo's case in chief. I guess you cross-examine him now. And then I'll go on to Michael's case after that, and I'll probably ask Mr. Decker questions again, Mr. DeTangelo questions again. Just trying to keep it so we can
Do you want me to sit down?
compartmentalize it.
This is good, okay, cool.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tatangelo. For the record, Wilson Carroll. Just a few questions. So you bought the property in December of 2018, right?
Correct.
Do you remember what month? Or sorry, do you remember the specific
I
date?
think it was like the 28th, it was the end of the year.
Okay, and you've claimed that that's your primary residence, is that right?
It is my primary residence.
When did you first move into 461 Westway Road?
When did I move in? Shortly after that.
Okay, and did it become your permanent residence at that time?
Well, yeah, I was bouncing in between staying at my mom's house and living there.
Okay, so when did it actually become your primary residence?
I'm not exactly sure what month.
But it would have been in 2019.
It was a model for the project. And it was kind of uncomfortable because I owned it and I lived there and they were using it as a model because it was furnished for them to show the units. So it was, yeah, but I'd stay there, but I'd have to leave and clean up and everything and get out of there like nobody lived there.
Okay, and so when did you actually move in and you're spending all your time there as opposed to at your mother's house?
I'd have to look at my records. I don't recall the exact month.
Okay, but you haven't produced any documents showing when you moved in and it became your primary residence in this proceeding, right?
No, I do not.
Okay, and in fact, the only documents that you provided with respect to whether it's your primary residence are from 2026, right? Like the new license you got.
Well, I've always filed taxes in the state of Connecticut, and I've never not filed taxes in the state of Connecticut, and that was my residence.
Right. But the documents you've submitted in support of your claim that this is your primary
Yes,
residence
because
are 2026
Mark and
documents.
Phil asked me to get those.
Okay, and those were all after the notice of violation was issued, the January 2026 notice of violation.
Correct.
So you bought the property in December, late December 2018. You are the administrator of the affordability plan. Is
I
that
am.
right?
Yes,
And so you are familiar with the plan?
yes,
You've read the plan
dozens of times.
and you know how to read it?
I do.
Okay. I'm just making
I
sure.
understand you're being sarcastic.
So under the affordability plan, the administrator is the one who approves applications for the
Yeah.
affordable units, right? And so you are the one who decides whether an applicant's income qualifies that person to purchase an affordable unit.
Yes. Well, subject to the laws of the state of Connecticut, the state statute.
Sure. So I'm looking at the affordability plan and I'm on, this is VII application process.
Hold on one second, please. Can you give me, of course, give me a minute to open up the application?
Yeah, so I'm looking at the page that has A, application form.
So if you go to number 11, and what page?
But they're not paginated,
Okay,
but I'm on Roman numeral 7, but it's actually on the following page where it says A.
VII, the second VII.
Oh, sorry, yeah, VII 2. There you go.
the purchase and
It's the-
lease eligibility?
So there's
Application process.
A, application form, and then there's B, applicant interview, and then C, verification of applicant's income. Okay, so this,
I'm sorry, can we follow you? We don't know where you are.
so I'm looking at the affordability
So if you
plan.
could just give me the tab first,
Yeah, it's actually the fourth,
Tab?
11.
tab 11.
Tab 11.
and it's the fourth page in, the top of fourth page in.
It can't be 11. We only have 2 pages in 11.
I'm looking at exhibit A to
The
mine.
first section,
Section 11?
the first section of it. Yep,
Tab number 11.
Okay,
Yep, there's
sorry,
2
thank you. Tab 11, and then where do we go?
4 pages in.
4 pages in.
VII purchase and eligibility.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so you're on the same page, right? It says A, application form right at the top of this page?
Yep.
Okay. So the plan contemplates that there's going to be an application with, in this first full paragraph, there's even a reference to financial disclosures. So when you decided to purchase this property, did you apply to yourself as administrator?
No, I did apply to Westway Road LLC.
But you're the administrator of the plan, right?
Correct.
Right. And so an applicant to purchase one of these properties would have to apply to the administrator, right?
No, it goes through Westway Road LLC. They're the owners of the property. And when we wrote our advertising, they are to submit to that company. I am the administrator of that, of the affordable.
Right. But you're the person who would review financial disclosures to
Absolutely.
determine whether a person is qualified?
Yes.
Okay. And so when did you apply and provide financial disclosures to purchase the property?
Well, I couldn't until we had advertised. That's the law.
Okay, so when was that?
Phil had provided yesterday, unfortunately, with a couple hundred other documents, the tear sheets. Do you
I
recall?
think those are attached to Mr. Carroll's exhibits.
Yeah, I could pull that up if you'd like, because that's the only way I know the dates.
I would, yeah.
Okay, yep. I apologize for this, but I have to pull up this off for a second. And I advertised a total of 4 times, okay, in the Connecticut Post. I gotta find what these guys sent us, because I apologize. They sent us hundreds of documents yesterday, which is, makes it a little challenging. Do you happen to have that? What did you guys send? Because I'm looking at. sorry, this is, didn't know this would be asked. Okay, I have several of them. And legal notices were posted.
You can tell the commission what exhibit you're into, what you're looking at.
I'm looking at the Connecticut Post tear sheet, but I have to now find it in the legal notices. The tear sheet is what the newspaper sends you, a copy of what was in there.
But Mr. Tatangelo, I mean, looking at those classifieds probably refreshes your recollection about the date that they were, like, you can see
Yeah,
the date,
it's,
right?
I just want to let you know that it has to conform to the state statute. Okay?
I'm just interested in the date.
Yeah, okay. Just give me a minute and try my best here.
The availability of the housing in the newspaper. They're asking him
And I have these highlighted, so. Unless you want me to keep looking, I can tell you this, it was.
Yeah, so I'll just ask the question again. So when did you apply to the administrator, which basically is you, to determine whether your income was eligible to purchase one?
It was after the date that they were published.
Okay, and what was the date
Connecticut
they were published?
Phil, you have those. You sent it to us yesterday. They're in your documents that I had provided to you guys to prove originally when he sent the order to comply. Give me a minute. Let me see if I can find them.
They're just documents that you sent to us.
No, I actually gave you a whole load of documents.
Yeah, that's not true, yeah.
But he doesn't have those.
If you like, I can show you the zoning file.
Yeah, there you go.
Which-
See, that's all. You guys have this.
Has a date.
Okay. And it has dates on it. You have that
Yeah,
information.
so I'm showing you a copy of this printout, and we've highlighted the public notice. And do you see the date on top of there?
I do, I see September 11th, but I did it 4 times. And I have to be able to read it to say it is, yes, this was the 14th, it would be September 11th of 2018.
Okay.
And then it would also be,
Later.
I think, 2 weeks later,
Right.
or a week later.
But suffice it to say that you applied for a determination of income eligibility in 2018.
Yes.
Okay. And what did you review as an administrator to determine whether you met the income requirements? What documents did you review?
I did exactly what the state statute and affordability plan requires.
And what
Okay,
was that?
which I'll open that up to them. W-2s, if you have.
W-2s from what year?
No, I am, it's all from 2017.
Okay.
In my case, it was the last, it's always the year prior's income tax return
Okay, so you
statement.
said there were W-2s, were there more than one W-2?
No, you asked me what I looked at. I don't have W-2s because I'm an independent contractor.
Okay, but all the documents that you looked at as an administrator to make a
Include-
determination of your own, let
Thanks.
me please finish my question. They were all from 2017.
correct.
Okay.
Yes, do you want me to give you?
Nope.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm gonna switch topics just for a moment. How long have you known Attorney Liskoff?
Almost 30 years.
And you mentioned an LLC earlier, 131 Beach Road LLC.
Yes.
You're a member of that LLC, right?
Yes, I am.
And Attorney Liskoff is a member of that LLC as well. Isn't that right?
Now, yes.
And so would you, I mean, he's your business partner in that venture, isn't he?
Yes.
Okay. So back to the administration of this affordability plan. You're the one who decides, who makes the decision about whether an applicant's income qualifies to purchase a unit, right? You personally are the one who makes that decision.
Based on the state statute documents, correct?
And you testified that you are familiar with this plan, that you've read the plan.
Yes.
So you must be aware as the administrator that qualifying income, and I'm looking at the same page we were just referencing with the
Yes,
affordability plan.
back to that. Or the application one.
Yeah, it
Okay, got
says,
it.
so you must be aware that the determination of income eligibility, quote, takes into account total anticipated income from all sources, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
So other than reviewing documents, your own financial documents from 2017, did you do anything else to verify that your income qualified under this plan?
Yes, I reviewed every list item on this list to
Okay.
make sure that I qualified.
Right, and those were with respect to documents from 2017?
Yeah, any banking information, okay, any K-1 returned, anything that got ties into the ultimate, which is your tax return.
Okay, and you approved your own application, right?
I did.
Okay, and you approved the application of your business partner's son, right?
I did.
Okay, and I'm not sure I got a good answer, a full answer before, so I just want to make sure we're totally clear. You reviewed all the documents the affordability plan says you need to review for 2017 when.
For me.
For you.
Yep.
What, did you do anything else to verify your income under the plan to make sure you were eligible to purchase the unit?
I reviewed every document that's listed for review in the state statute.
Because the problem I'm having, sir, is that this affordability plan says that income for purposes of determining an applicant's qualification shall include the applicant's family's total anticipated income from all sources for the 12-month period following the date the application is submitted.
Correct.
So the 2017 financial documents are actually not relevant to that, are they? Because it only counts 12 months after the application was submitted. And didn't you just testify that you submitted your application in 2018?
I reviewed this with Mark Barnhart, and he said to use the 2017 documents. See, I don't have 2018 documents.
But Mark Barnhart is not the administrator of this plan,
No,
right?
he's not.
Okay, you are the administrator of the plan.
I am. And could you please just clarify what you're saying? Okay.
So the second full sentence of A, application form. An applicant's qualification shall include an applicant's family's total anticipated income from all sources for the 12-month period following the date the application is submitted. You submitted your application after the publications in 2018. So isn't it true that your qualifying income would be prospective? It would be 12 months from the date that you applied in 2018?
How could it be? You can't, how does anybody know?
The total anticipated income.
Yeah, and the question is asked further, do you believe, do you know that your income is going to be any higher? Or what it's going to be in the next 12 months? And if you think it's going to be higher, you have to acknowledge that. Well, I have no idea what income I'm going to have for that year.
You've only provided us with one page. This is tab 15 of your 2017 tax return, right?
Yes.
And you hadn't provided that to us prior to today, is that right?
No one ever asked me to provide it. I've tried to meet with them.
As an
on numerous
administrator,
occasions.
as an administrator of this plan, don't you think it would be relevant?
Not when the town is suing me, no. I think I need to discuss it privately and show the individuals and hope that they don't take it and use it against me. And honestly, I didn't trust Phil or I didn't trust Mark. And I stated that earlier.
The one-page excerpt from your 2017 tax return is not signed, right?
I don't know. I have no idea.
It's tab 15.
Yeah, I'll sign it right now.
And there's no other page here. You didn't provide W-2s. You didn't provide.
I don't have W-2s.
Did you provide any K-1s?
I wasn't asked to.
Did you provide any 1099s?
I wasn't asked to. It's all tied into a tax return. Are you a CPA? I guess I asked
Well,
some
I
questions.
mean, you haven't provided us with a tax return, though, have you? Just one page unsigned from the 2017 tax return.
It was a document that I had talked to the guys about, would they be willing to take a look at that, and they agreed. And no one ever met with me. And no one ever asked me to review these things. I've offered to sit down. If they want to sit down, I'm not giving it to them, and I don't trust them. I will sit down and they can review everything they'd like to review.
Do you understand this?
What I have
You understand
available.
this is a record proceeding?
Absolutely.
Okay, so the board has to act on, the documents and testimony that it has. Is there anything else? No further questions.
Okay.
I have a couple of follow-ups. Mr. DeTangelo, as a real estate developer, do you ever know what your income is gonna be in any given year?
No.
And Mr. DeTangelo, back in 2021, when you sold that unit to Michael Liskoff, who is my son, I was not your business partner in 131 Beach Road at that time, was I?
No, you were
When did I
not.
become a partner in 131 Beach Road, Mr. DeTangelo?
Last year or so, I believe. I don't know the date, but it was,
I had no interest in 131 Beach Road when you sold that unit to my son, did I?
not at all.
And I had no interest in this Westway Road development project either, did I?
None.
We owned a bunch of 2 and 3 family houses together,
We did.
but the illusion that you're giving my son preferential treatment or qualifying him because I'm a partner at 131 Beach Road, that's completely wrong, isn't it?
It is. And we discussed earlier that they questioned me about prioritizing. And it's very simple. Emmeline knows it. Mark Barnhart knows it. When you get contacted, you have to keep a record. I kept perfect records of everybody, and obviously, Michael Liskoff knew that I was doing that project. I put him second in line. And if he didn't qualify, the third person in line. And you have to understand, we get contacted by people wanting to sell $2 million houses up in Greenfield Hill, okay? We've had zoning, we've had people in the town hall saying, oh man, I wish I could get in. Everybody wants in.
I have no other questions.
Okay, and you're also done with this? Okay, thank you.
I'm good, okay.
Okay, please.
Now you're gonna be back on for
Yeah, I'm-
encore performance.
Should I stay here, or do you want me to?
No, come and sit.
Okay.
Well, you'll be up pretty quick. 2-minute break?
I think we could wait a little bit.
Okay.
But thank you. I don't know.
Once again, I'm gonna call Matt Decker as a witness. Mr. Decker, you're still under penalty of perjury, obligation to tell the truth under penalty of perjury. You understand that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Decker, now I'm going into the tabs for Michael Liskoff. The book is divided in half. The first half, 1 through 19, is Glenn DeTangelo. The next half of the book is tabs 1 through 12 for Michael, or actually 1 through 13, but we didn't have tab number 12. We ran out of tab number 12. So, Mr. Decker, isn't it true that on May 13th, 2024, you served Michael Liskoff with an order to comply?
Correct.
And that's tab number 2. If you go to page number 2, Mr. Decker, and where it says admonishment, it says at the last sentence, it says you may also be subject to forfeiture of the title due to your failure to comply. See where it says that?
Yes, sir.
Did you write that?
No,
Who wrote that?
I believe Jim Went wrote it.
And you've seen the affordability program plan, right? You've read it, or you've partially read it, or you've like skimmed it or something like that.
Yes.
And I'm going to ask you on tab 3, and this is the same affordability program we had before. It's the same affordability plan as we're going through. And the reason why I'm using it again is just it's the Bible. And I want you to go to the affordability plan XVI. It's the same one we've been going through about it. It says enforcement. It's under tab number 3 for Michael Liskov.
I have it.
It's under enforcement XVI. And I'm gonna ask you a question about that. You and in your order to comply, that's signed by you, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And on page 2, you say that you may also be subject to forfeiture of title due to your failure to comply, right? You definitely say that, right? You admitted that.
The letter says that, yes.
Okay. And you also see in enforcement, it says, a violation of the affordability plan shall not result in the forfeiture of title. Why would you tell someone that their title is subject to being forfeited when it clearly says in the Bible that it's not possible? You're trying to scare someone to death? Is that the reason why you do it?
I didn't write the letter. Jim Went did.
Okay, so you just signed it.
I did.
Okay, that's like you only followed orders, right?
I was asked to do it and I did it.
You followed orders.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we know where that comes from, the following orders. So, do you know why Mr.
Went.
Went put that in there?
I did not question why he wanted me to do it.
And then we go to 2026, correct? That's tab number 1. This is what we're really here for, is the notice of violations, the zoning office. That's our tab number 1. It's dated January 29, 2026. The same day that you sent Mr. Tatangelo his notice of violations, correct?
Yes,
And that's signed by you, correct?
it is.
And once again, it says, an investigation of the subject premises by this office discloses the following conditions presently exist.
Correct.
Your office didn't do any investigation, did it?
I can't speak for everybody else in my office. I did not, personally.
Once again, you were asked to sign that document, correct?
I was asked by the town attorney, and it was under my understanding that the information that was provided to me was obtained by their research.
You have no documents in your file that show you that Michael Liskov was not in compliance with the income eligibility requirements, correct?
I just have this letter and the one that I signed.
And once again, the affordability plan that I talked about with Mr. Tatangelo, the same errors are in the affordability plan that apply to Michael Liskov, correct?
I'm sorry, repeat that question?
The same areas where I showed that the affordability plan had errors in it, like Schedule B, to use the calculations, where we're under the application form, where it says Schedule B, but Schedule B is really the specs on the building. It's the same affordability plan as we talked about with Mr. Tatangelo, correct?
I believe so, yes.
I don't want to repeat things. I want to move along. And also about where it says that the applicant's income need not be re-verified annually. That's another mistake we talked about for rental properties, correct?
You spoke to me about that, but again.
You heard
brought up.
that. You heard that though,
I
right?
did hear it, yes.
And this affordability program also tells you to calculate 1.5 persons per bedroom, correct? That's under IX.
The plan says it is, and that's what it says.
Did you ever request any documents from Michael Liskov regarding his income?
I did not personally know.
And you never reviewed any documents concerning Michael Liskov's income, did you?
Not personally, no.
I have no other questions for this witness.
Okay.
I'm going to recall Glenn Tatangelo. You want to go stand up there again? Yep. Mr. Soft Voice.
You know what? Why don't we take a quick break right now? Okay, sorry. I think this would be a good time now.
Thank you.
We're going to reopen the public hearing of the ZBA for 8/6/2026. Please proceed.
Okay, and we recall Mr. Tatangelo to the stand for the case of Michael Liskov. Mr. Tatangelo, you understand you're still under oath, correct?
Yes.
Mr. Tatangelo, did Michael Liskov fill out an application for you to purchase Unit 489 Westway Road?
Well, the procedure, he had to fill out a pre-app.
Okay,
To-
tell the board what, I'll let you do it because you did it. Tell the board what Michael Liskov did to try to purchase his property.
Yeah, first thing he had early on asked me, is there any chance that he could be in, purchase at the property? And I said, I can only put you on a list. I have to keep a list of everyone. And I put him on a list. When the time came after we had advertised, okay, we went and I was able to close the unit that I was in on and that I purchased. And then when it came to him, I have to do a pre-application. And basically, it gives you you weed out a lot of people. It's like the guy I'm telling you, somebody up at a $2 million house wants to sell a home and sell the principal residence and move there to move in. So I had to confirm he had a pre-application. He conformed to it. I said, yes, you're fine. Now you have to submit an application and you have to provide all of these documents, similar to what we've talked about, okay? And Michael did so. And he was qualified and he received a letter stating that he could proceed.
You qualified him, correct?
I did.
And Mr. Tatangelo, tell this commission how you know Michael Liskov and how old he is and how you came to meet him.
Well, I've known him since he was born, okay? And, spending holidays together and just watched him grow up to be a really nice young man. It's kind of unfortunate he's going through this right now.
And did Mr. Liskov give you his W-2 form?
He did?
That was for the year 2020?
Yes.
He gave you the 2019 tax return as well, didn't he?
He did?
And he gave you his 2021 tax return as well, didn't he?
He did.
No, I'm sorry, it's
No,
2020, my mistake.
2020, 2019.
Right, 2020.
Yep.
And I have attached here the cover sheet as tab number 5 of his 2020 U.S. income tax return, correct?
Yes.
And tab number 4 was his W-2 form, correct?
Give me a second. Yes.
Michael Liskov wasn't making hundreds of thousands of dollars. His W-2 form shows he made a total of wages, tips, and other compensations, $63,388.96, correct?
Yes.
And his tax returns for 2020 basically show the same thing, correct?
Yes. Yes.
He had a couple of other dollars in income. He had $2 in ordinary dividends and $40 in capital gains, correct?
Yes.
Okay, go on. And he supplied those to you to purchase the unit,
I
correct?
did. Yep.
Did there come a time where you were made aware that Michael Liskov filed an amendment of his 2020 tax return?
Yes.
And do you know why he filed an amendment of his 2020 tax return?
Yeah, I know that you had worked with Bill and I believe Mark Barnhart and met with them and said that you were going to file one.
Okay. And tab number 6 is a partial copy of his 1040X 2020 tax return, correct?
What tab?
Tab number 6.
Yes.
Tab number 7. You see a letter here I sent to Phil Pierce, January 29th, 2025, nearly a year before the violation notice was sent out. You see that letter? It's tab number 7?
After, you mean?
No, before. I sent this letter out January 29th.
Oh, before the 26th one,
Yeah,
correct.
uh-huh.
Yep. Yes.
And you see where it says, enclosed, please find the amended and filed tax return Michael Liskov. The amended 2020 return clearly shows that Michael meets the income limits to own property 49 Westway Road. The reason for the amendment was due to Michael omitted Schedule C income losses for 2020. These losses were originally omitted because I had recommended that he not claim these losses. I did this because he started his financial consulting business, and then because of COVID, it had to cease. It seemed to me that because of COVID, it was too difficult to transact business, and that his losses were relatively modest, and I tend to be very conservative. You see where it says all of that?
Yes.
You see where it says that his Schedule C losses are basically his cell phone, his internet, cable bill, and the cost it did to get him to get his CFA 1 and CFA 2 certificates?
Yes.
And you know I sent those to Mr. Pierce, correct?
Right.
And then later, well, actually earlier in 2024, Mr. Pierce sent you and Michael a letter, and me a letter, saying that he disagreed with what happened. He says that your income needs to be $56,336. This is under tab number 8.
Yes.
And then he said that Michael's income was $63,431, and that's on his 2020 tax return.
Mhm.
So he also felt that you overcharged him for purchasing the property, correct?
He did, and he also accused me of my own admission. I was not income qualified, which is not true.
So that was all done. Now, attached to the back of Mr. Pierce's letter, after we get done with the verbiage on it, he gives you the median incomes for 2020 and 2021, correct? You can see that?
He gives it for 5 years, or 2020 to 2024. Yeah.
He doesn't, and it goes back even further to your time for 2018 on the second page, correct?
Yes. And they specifically highlighted wrong numbers, though.
And attached also to the letter is his certifications that you filed. One of them is by Julie Magnano, administrator. And
Yes.
that's unsigned on 122. And on the bottom it says, I hereby certify the Affordable Compliance Plan enclosed is the annual compliance report for Westway Road. This report certifies each listed resident as qualified for affordable home ownership based on household income and statutory requirements. And she's the administrator. What is administrator, Mr. Angelo?
She was an administrator she was secretary, but she called herself an administrator of the development company.
Was she ever an administrator of the affordability
No.
plan?
Never.
You're sure she was never an administrator of the
Absolutely.
affordability plan?
Yep.
You're sure you're the only developer of the affordability plan?
I am, and I always have been. But like I said, when this was happening, I had bigger problems in my life with my mom.
Can you explain to the board how you calculated the sale price for Michael Liskov and how you determined what his income eligibility requirements were for this purchase?
Okay, his income eligibility requirements were based on the affordability plan, which we've discussed. Okay, you bring in all the financial documents, he provides W-2s, he provides tax returns. You know, you ask questions, you know, do you have a pension, do you have social security, he goes through a litany of items, okay? Bank documents. It's important to understand on a for sale product, I think I said this earlier, that if you had a $10 million trust that somebody had and you received money every year from that trust, if you received $1,000 a week, you would qualify. Okay, or if you purchased a property and the next day you won $50 million, you still qualify. All right, so there's no like hidden secret sauce here. It's very clear of how to do this. Now, if you want to determine how I use that formula there, I am going to have to sit down over here.
I want you to show the commission what you did, because I want to see there's a method to what you did, how you did it, and why you did it. Okay, because they need to understand. This is probably the most important part of the case, actually, as to how and why you did this.
Okay. There's two things. One is determining value of the property. Okay? And this is what's used for determining value. 10% of the units are deed restricted in the project. 16 units, 1.6, you raise it up to 2, okay? Based on 30% of your income that can be used toward housing, and it is based on 80% of the area median income. States it right there, okay? In this case, I want to go through each line item. And since this is an Excel program that was provided to me, I'm going to just show you the changes, okay? In this case, we had,
It's in 2020, correct? Not in 2019.
this is 2020. Okay, so this was sent to me as the formula. I'm going to make every
Just a
change.
question, is this the same, we already went over this,
It is, but it's different because Michael Liskoff's income is different than Glenn Tatangelo.
but this is the one we went over because we didn't have one for Michael, we only had this one.
No, this is the one that was given to me
Right.
for
No,
Mark Barnhart
just-
to qualify
As a board,
2020.
I just, it's fine if you want to go through it, but we've been through it already, so just for a matter of experience, just if you could just go through it kind of quickly unless, we
Well,
can ask you questions later, but we've all seen it already.
I think it's best to look at the document then. We have this document here.
Do you have
Okay.
extra copies for everybody?
I think it's in
Is it
here.
in our book?
It's in with, I believe it's within your books, yes. If you turn to tab number 10, okay,
Yep, oh, he's right.
all right? And I just want to show, you see shaded areas? Those were using that formula, exact formula, and those were shaded items. Those were, anything that was shaded was changed, okay? And it calculates out to $386,367.68. And if you'd like, on number 7, where it says, I'm sorry, the amount of mortgage available for principal and interest, $1,433.92. If any of you have chat, whatever it is, PGT, you can specifically ask. A 30-year mortgage, that year happened to be 2.750, okay? With a 10% deposit, you will come out to $1,433, which is identical to what we did. So that determines the value, okay? Then you come in and you take the individuals, and you have to make an assumption here now. This has been changed to the property. It's a 4-bedroom house. That's a formula for 3. I was only given 1, 2, and 3. I took the same exact formulas, and all the item I had to change was a 4-bedroom. Okay? When we applied, it's very important to understand this. When you applied, and it's in the documents of the affordability plan, we offered 3,000 square foot minimum in the house with a 3-bedroom and 2.5 bath. Okay? Very important to understand. The lower level, it was garage, imagine garage straight through, okay, and a room behind it, which was unfinished. Then you went upstairs to the living room, kitchen, dining area. Then you go upstairs and there's 3 bedrooms and 2 baths, okay? Everyone in the community decided, and we offered it through William Ravis Real Estate as an option to do a 4th bedroom. Every single person chose the 4th bedroom downstairs in that lower level. It's not below grade. Sliding glass doors and walking out, okay? So they challenged me, the town, Bill and Mark challenged me on it, and the only thing I could do was bring in the building official, okay, which I did, probably last year, I think it was. He inspected them, he confirmed them, gave us the documentation. They are 4-bedroom units, and the tax assessor has adjusted it as a 4th bedroom. Okay? So now, you take Michael's, because that's how you determine value, okay? It's very simple. Use that formula, it works, okay? Tied into the affordability plan, tied into the state statute. There's no secret here. Then, on qualifying, you take the dollar amount of the individual, or if there's 3 people living in the house. I take that dollar amount, in this case it was 1 individual, I take his income, and I carry it across to the state formula, the state guideline, which is, I have to Get to the page so you can see it. Tab number 9. Okay? In this case, it's circled, and it shows for this particular house, there's 4 bedrooms. Remember, 1.5 people. It's right there. Line number 19, which shows number 2, family size calculations. 1.5 persons times the number of bedrooms in the unit. Okay? So I take that, I carry it across to 6, it's 93,357. I have Phil and I have Mark Barnhart telling me that's not the number. That's not the number. You do it based on one person. I'm like, where does it say that? It doesn't say it anywhere. Nowhere in this document. And they're telling me I did it wrong, and I still don't agree. So when I did my certifications, amended certifications apply, I used their number. Okay? Because Michael Liskoff even qualified under that with his amended tax return. I tried, and it's critical to understand this. What do you think the training program should be for somebody like an administrator? Okay? I think there should be some sort of a class. Town of Fairfield doesn't offer anything. Okay? They don't even offer anything on their website. They don't even tell you to talk to Mark Barnhart. They don't have an application. They have nothing. Okay? They kick you out to the state. So we contact the state. Talk to HUD. Talk to DOH. Talk to CHAFA. Okay? Can somebody train us? Okay? Can somebody, what's the program? And I went to Mark Barnhart in 2020 when this started, and I have documentation here that says, Mark, please don't let this happen to anybody else again. This is horrible. I got a kid who's like first-time buyer going through this. I'm being told I'm going to get thrown out of my house and fined. It's not right, okay? And in the meantime, there's a bunch of mistakes. We saw already an affordability plan that needs to be adjusted, okay? But I want to blame anybody, but let's use an example, okay? Mark provides me this. I use it, okay? Then he tells me it's wrong, all right? Jim went, and we have documentation in our book here, where Jim went requested to re-verify my income, me, okay? I'm like, he said, your certification form, even though Attorney Baldwin said he never got them, okay? The certification form was wrong. So Jim's acknowledging in this email to me. And he's asking me to re-verify. I said, Jim, read the affordability plan. You don't re-verify for sale units and under the state statute. You do for rental, okay? Definitely you do for rental. Our affordability plan, which was approved by the town, is wrong, okay? They were wrong on the order to comply in August 22. Attorney Baldwin sent me these things saying I didn't advertise. I did. I didn't screen and assist. I did. I didn't prioritize. I did. Okay? A failure to submit written status reports. I did. And they acknowledged them. So I don't know what they were doing, but it seems to be tied into my other lawsuit. Okay? Deed restrictions. State statute specifically states that you must have a deed restriction in place when a person buys it. When a person gets a CO. Is that correct?
I didn't hear the question.
You can,
Oh, I can't ask
you
him.
can
Okay.
ask him questions.
Okay.
You could
He
just
should
tell
know
the
that.
board. Go
He
ahead.
definitely should know that. State statute is real simple, okay? When I go to get a CO and Matt Decker signs off my CO, it's his responsibility to make sure the deed restriction is in place. Because what could happen? I could sell it the next day for market. At the time, those market were $1 million units. And I was buying it for $205. Okay? So it has to be in place. Well, guess what?
Go ahead.
Okay. Unit 461, Westway. CO was issued on August 7th, okay? The deed restriction was September 24th. At 6 weeks, 7 weeks, I could have sold that thing. It wouldn't have been my fault, because they didn't do their job. 489, the one that his son bought, April 15, second time around, okay? I have to go into Jim's office and say, Jim, what are we doing here, man? His deed restriction was recorded on December 20th, 7 months later. So we don't, like, these guys aren't angels here, okay?
Can I just interrupt?
Sure.
What question is he answering of
I
yours?
don't know.
I just wanted to
Okay.
try, I'm not being.
No, you asked me for
No,
qualifications.
no, okay, so
Okay.
can we?
I'll ask you
Okay.
that, I'll move on.
Well, no, ask me what errors were done by the town.
I think they understand your point. Okay, let's move on.
Well, there's about 5 others.
Okay.
Okay, and I just want you to understand that these guys aren't.
They got it. Okay. So, Mr. Tatangelo, in your calculation, you believe the income to qualify Michael Liskoff to buy this four-bedroom unit was $93,357 under your calculation because the household size makes you take into account 1.5 persons per bedroom, correct?
Yes, I do.
And, okay. Exhibit 10, that's how you calculated the sales price. I'd like everyone to look at exhibit number 12. I sent a affidavit to Phil Pierce. I basically told him that we filed an amended 2020 tax return for Michael Liskoff. I told him that I'm the one who filed. I told him I put it in the mail. I told him I had it certified. I gave him the address and the person and lock, stock, and barrel in case there's any dispute that I actually hadn't filed that for my son Michael. And I filed my son Michael's tax returns every single year since he started working at 16 years old caddying at Patterson Country Club. So I've always filed his tax returns for him. The last page I have is my freedom of information request to Mr. Barnhart. He's not here, I can't ask him any questions about that. I do have a few other exhibits I would like to pass. I have one for Mr. Tatangelo. I still have a question for Mr. Tatangelo. Mr. Tatangelo, I'm going to place before you a document. I'd like to give a copy of this to everyone on the commission. I'm sorry.
Okay, Tara first, if she has not
Tara
seen.
first, okay. She helped us with the computer. Tara first.
There's a typo on this.
Okay, well, you'll tell the commission what the typo is then.
Yes, I just realized there's a typo.
Okay. Well,
And you'll see it by the numbers. If you look under assumptions.
hold on, Mr. Tatangelo. If you're going to sell this unit today, okay, can you sell it for more than what Michael Liskoff paid for it? Or can you sell it for less and explain why you can either sell it for more or sell it for less?
Okay. There's a typo. The sale would be $248,346.04. I used the same formula. The assumptions, I showed 2019 statewide AMI and 2019 Bridgeport PMSA and 129.5 and 156A. You would use the lesser of the two and you would use the statewide number, but it is 2026 number. So if you could just make a note of
That
that.
out?
Is that 2019, it's 2026?
It's 2026, I didn't pick that up.
All right, that's
Yep.
that's clerical.
Yep, well, no, because you're asking me for this year,
Right.
it's at this time, okay? Interest rate has gone up. When the interest rates have almost doubled, okay, and property taxes have gone up, homeowners insurance has gone up, association fees went from a low of $435 to $640, okay? And it would be PMI, because it's only 10% allowed, all right? I use the current mill rate, I use 1.5 people, you'd sell it for $248,000. And this for 3-bedroom, because I have to compare it to what Mark Barnhart is using for calculation, which is up on top here, it says 3-bedroom.
So, just, I will tell the commission, Michael Liskoff has a mortgage in excess of $340,000 on this property. You can see he got 10% financing when he closed, that's in all the calculations. He's well over he's under these calculations, he's underwater by at least $100,000. So he's never gonna be able to clear title to sell a property like this. And you can see what his income is already. I also want to introduce an exhibit to everybody, a memo that
I just want to, just procedurally, are you done with the witness? Should they?
I think I'm done with
So
it.
I think then they are gonna.
Oh, okay.
All right, okay. So then we'll go back to you.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, are you ready, attorneys? No questions? Okay. Go ahead.
Mr. Pierce and I have had an ongoing discussion as to whether or not a 401K contribution is to be included as to Michael's income. He sent me a memo, it's in the record as to, he says it should be. I have a memo that I sent to him saying that it shouldn't be, and I've attached my reasons why, and he's attached his reasons why. So I'm gonna give this to Tara first. What's next? It's gonna take you a while to get through that.
It's a serious document.
I know we're gonna be back here for you to ask questions probably, but,
Yeah, so you're presenting this to us specifically to talk about your view on the 401K.
correct,
So you
contribution.
want to just go through that on your own and then we'll list it?
Oh, sure. You have a copy. This is one I sent to you. This is the one that was.
No, I know, but I don't have a copy.
Oh, okay, sure.
Because you didn't hand it.
So maybe just discuss that part of this with us? Does that make sense for you?
Okay, sure. I don't have a problem with that. Basically, I give a lot of undisputed facts, and you'll see, I think everything you've heard tonight is pretty much dead red in the undisputed facts that you have there. I went and did some research, and I've attached it. I went to the Federal Register, which is what annual income means. Doesn't talk about 401K. Because it's never taxed, it's never touched, it's like you didn't earn it at 401K. The annual income does not include the following, all the Federal Registers go through everything. It says, we also have an attachment. I have it highlighted here somewhere, hold on. It is on page 5. If you go pretty far back in the document, it's an attachment page 5. Where it talks about income and income exclusion resource sheet. Number 5, retirement plan. Income received from any account under IRS recognized retirement plan. However, any distribution of periodic payments from these accounts shall be income at the time they're received. And it talks about employee retirement plans. That's what Michael's 401K plan was. It was a contribution to his 401K plan. They don't tax the matching of the employer either. That's not on there either because it's never earned. And as I go back on page 9 of the income and income exclusion resource sheet, it says retirement plan. Income received from any account under IRS recognized retirement plan. However, periodic payments are income if he gets the time of receipt. So it's taxed at the time of receipt. It's income at the time of receipt. So I think I'm correct. I'm not gonna tell you I'm a CPA. I'm not going there. But we try to work with the town to come to their level, even though I think Mr. DeTangelo is right, the income level based on 4 bedrooms is 6 people in the family. and you go to the 93. We were trying everything we could do to not have to come here and put on a presentation. And then I did some independent AI research on this, and I'll give that to you also. Not much. This is short. This is real short. I have two different AI documents. I'm not gonna tell you AI is the end all and be all of the world. But Mr. Pierce hasn't given us any case law, and I haven't found any case law either. We both have opinions. In the first document that I gave you, oh, you have it. Okay. And the first one is, I asked, the question, our 401k contributions, search for our 401k contributions counted toward income limits for affordable housing in Connecticut. And AI says, in Connecticut, contributions are generally not counted as income when determining eligibility for affordable housing. However, any payments or distributions from the 401k account, such as requirement of distributions or regular payments, would be considered income of the 401k account itself. It's not counted. So that's what AI has to. I mean, as I said, it's not the end all and be all. And I did a second AI search as well, asking the question slightly differently, with slightly different words.
Sorry.
And once again, the last thing, a 401k contribution does not count and determine the income threshold for affordable housing in Connecticut. The income limits for affordable housing are set by the IRS and are not affected by 401k contributions. Therefore, your 401k contributions will not impact your eligibility for affordable housing. I think I'm right. Mr. Pierce has his opinion as to why he thinks he's right. There's no case law from anybody on this. I think I'm done presenting, except I'd like some final argument at the end to summarize what I would like this commission to do.
I would ask though, what about the witness you wanted to call? How do you want to proceed? You want to proceed without that?
Yeah, let's just move forward. I know what he's going to say. Mr. Tatangelo's testimony is uncontroverted by Mr. Barnhart not being here. I'm probably going to argue in my closing argument that that I'm going to ask for what they call a second Dino charge. And the second Dino charge is that if the person was here and was supposed to be here and they didn't show up, you can get an adverse inference against them because they didn't show up. And maybe I'll even ask you to write a brief on that.
Okay, but, please.
We are intending to call at least Mark Barnhart and potentially an additional witness as rebuttal witnesses.
Okay,
So I don't think, from our perspective, we wouldn't want to close the public hearing today.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so we're not going to close the public hearing today, but you're at this point done.
I believe so, subject to whatever I may have to call based upon the testimony of rebuttal witnesses.
Okay, so I have a procedural question. So at this point now, we would normally, as a board, we would ask questions to Mr. Attorney Liskoff, but because he still has open items, do we do that or do we continue it from here? And that's, I don't know.
I think the answer is up to you. You're the chair. I would suggest that perhaps while this is still fresh in the minds of the members of the board, that if they want to ask questions now, they can. And of course, they would also have the opportunity to follow up or not at the next hearing, or hold their questions until the next hearing. So it's up to you as the chair.
Okay. Well, before I answer that, then we would be done if we decided to ask questions, and we can ask questions through the attorney and through the witnesses. We then normally would ask people who are here, if you're here to speak in favor of this application, please come forward. And then we would say, if you're here to speak against this application, come forward. So then the attorneys here would speak. Do we want to do that tonight? Do we want to wait on that? And now you're going to say that's your decision.
No, he's not. He's going to say the public has no input on this.
I'm afraid that I disagree with Attorney Liskoff. Thank you for trying to speak for me on my behalf. But it's up to you, Madam Chair, so how you want to run it. And these meetings always allow public comment, and I don't see no reason why that should be deviated.
Well, I believe it's important right now as a board that we get a chance to ask questions because it's all very fresh for us. I think then we'll see what time it is and we'll call it from there, if that's okay.
And just to be clear, you can follow up and have the same format at the next hearing as you had here today in terms of calling the witnesses, the presentations, and your questions as the board. Not necessarily limited to the presentation of evidence and testimony at the next hearing. It's open for you to ask any questions at any time.
Okay, but I do think the board here would like to ask questions now just because we've heard so much today. So we are going to ask if there's anyone here or online who would like to speak in favor of the reversal of the decision of, I want to say that correctly, they're looking to reverse the notice of violation. So is there anyone here who'd like to speak in favor of the reversal? Seeing none, hearing none. Oh, I'm not supposed to do that yet. Never mind. Back up. Sorry. Does the board have any questions? Okay. You want to start?
Anyone who has spoken today?
We can talk to the attorney, we can talk to witnesses. And I
Absolutely.
believe we can talk to Mr. Decker. Okay, it's an open forum. I do not believe we can talk to Mr. Pierce, or we cannot ask questions to you, can
You could ask questions
Yeah,
to me.
sure.
we? Okay, so you can talk to anyone you want. Okay, Jane, I think you should ask, okay.
Okay. In terms of, because it's the freshest, in terms of the issue of counting 401K contribution or taking it away from income for purposes of qualifying for a mortgage, I have over 25 years of residential mortgage experience, and until 30 months ago, I still had an active mortgage registry license. So I think I can speak to this. You don't take a 401K contribution away from income when you're computing the qualification, because it's a voluntary deduction, which means that you use the gross income and not the income after the 401K deduction in computing the eligibility for a mortgage. So I think that any contribution to a 401K that's deducted from an income tax return gets added back for purposes of determining income. Remember, most income qualifications for mortgages are concerned with having enough income to qualify, not having too much income to qualify. The two interests work entirely against each other. To qualify for an affordable housing unit, you have limits on income. To qualify for a mortgage, you try to find as much income as you can. So they don't work in sync, they actually work against each other. Whatever so an income for a mortgage would include any contributions to a 401K. And therefore, I think that the taxable income for an affordable home would also include the same income. Let me ask you, I've got some questions that I wrote down here. Mr. Liskoff, you referenced the affordable, the document, the document that the developer filed about the affordable housing document, and you were concerned about section 812 of the, being 812 of the general statutes being referring to the Planning and Zoning Commission as the affordable housing document did reference, but 812 in the general statutes references the discretion and power of the zoning enforcement officer. So even though the affordable housing document referenced it as applying to the Planning and Zoning Commission, that section 812 really refers to the zoning enforcement officer. So you told us that there's a mortgage of over $300,000 on Michael's property.
Correct.
Now, the average mortgage rate in 2021 was about 3%, a 30-year mortgage.
What it is, 3%.
Yeah. So I worked backwards with the information that was provided here about property taxes, insurance, common charges, and didn't even include mortgage insurance. And somebody who could qualify for a $300,000 mortgage in 2021 would have to have an income in excess of $70,000 for a bank to qualify them for a mortgage. So I see a disconnect here between the reported income and the qualification for that size mortgage.
What makes you think it was a bank mortgage?
I don't know.
That's your assumption, and it'd be wrong.
Okay, all right. But Mr. Tatangelo's mortgage is a bank mortgage. We saw the mortgage statement on it, and his mortgage, slightly smaller, would still require an income well in excess of the income he reported on his tax returns, which was negative.
Right, he said that mortgage was taken out 5 years ago, not 8 years ago when he bought the property.
Okay. Well, how did he buy the property? How big was the mortgage then?
Yeah, answer how he bought the property.
Yeah, the development company gave me private financing because we had, and we put it on the record during the zoning hearing, that the construction loans were in excess of $700,000 on per unit.
Yeah, keep your voice up.
I think I heard that.
Thanks.
Okay, next question. In your submission, Mr. Tatangelo, you show us your registration for your car, which is a Lexus RX 350. And while the bill does in fact go to 461 Westway, for tax purposes, the tax town on the registration is identified as Trumbull.
Yes.
So if you're living in Fairfield, why is the car garaged in Trumbull?
When I was there, I didn't realize that the gal at the counter pulled up an old registration that I had when I lived in Trumbull from 15 years ago and just refilled in the document, and she left that. I immediately submitted through the state of Connecticut to be transferred, and I notified the property, the tax assessor.
All right.
So that had to be changed. That was a clerical error by them.
You know, Joe, we're going to go back to you. You said, and we'll come back though, Jane.
Okay, so just how does it work for 8-30G? You know, you have 16 units, and you know, 2 of them have to be sold to
They can be sold or rented under the.
sold or
affordable
rented
price.
to people under certain income. So do you identify which units they're gonna be?
Yes.
And so it just happened that you identified the 2 that you and your friend were gonna buy?
No, you do it ahead of time, you know, and I work with the town determine that, and they have to be identified early on.
So, but how did it happen that you happened to be able to, I mean, why wasn't it sold ahead of time as, before you got to it?
You can't, it was done. When we market the properties all at the same time,
Right.
it has to be marketed at the same time, market rate and for sale.
So unit XYZ was always, and unit,
Yes, and I had been approved by the town.
those were the two.
Yep.
Right. So nobody else applied for them?
Believe it or not, we had, I would guess, and they have this documentation, it's in part of the record, because I have certified letters and communications and responding to people. We had about 7 people respond from the actual, but we already had, we had people who had also been given to us by Jim Wendt and Mark Barnhart. So you keep a list. Pardon?
Nobody else
You
qualified?
do it in order.
Right, so
Yeah, you do it in order. I
Right,
happen to be
interject.
number 1. I knew it. I have a right to. You may not like the optics of it, but I conform to everything I was supposed to do. Okay?
There's nothing in the affordability plan that says you can't sell it to whoever applies. Yeah, just, if they wanted that, they should have put it in the affordability plan. It's not there.
and it just so happens that
And it's not selling to myself.
these
It's a
two were
development
the first in
company.
line. He's saying it's first come, first served, and we just so happen to be the first 2.
So, and then how do you establish residency? How many days out of the year do you have to
Well,
live
by law, I have to be 183.
in your,
I don't track, but I would say, more than, I got 11 grandkids here. I'm running around.
but do you have to live there every year as your primary residence or only that first year?
I live there every year, so I don't know that answer if I could go.
Because you don't have to check your income every year, but do you have to check your residency every year?
No, I don't believe so. I don't believe the document references that. It says it's to be your primary residence. So I use it as a primary residence. I have a business here. I have grandchildren here. I have 4 kids
So-
here.
Who's in Florida?
A wife who loves Florida and I don't.
And then who has Vermont
That is not owned by me.
anymore? Or,
Never.
Never.
Never owned. I've been accused of owning homes in Vermont and in Florida. I don't own homes in
okay,
Vermont.
what's Rainbow Writing Center?
Rainbow Writing Center is a program that when I am in Vermont, I volunteer at. And what they do is they run a program for 40 kids, special needs children.
Yeah.
And the owner of the property in Vermont allows those to rotate horses because there's pasture there.
There's an article in the local paper up in Rutland that refers to you and your wife living nearby.
Yeah, well, we raised money for them, okay, when we were there.
So why would it say that you live nearby in the article?
That's the media why they raised
Yeah.
things like that.
What's 3379 Shunpike Road? Does that ring a bell? Is that a property you lived at in Mount Holly, Vermont?
What's it?
Shunpike Road in Mount Holly, Vermont? Nothing, you never lived in Mount
Never
Holly,
lived there,
Vermont?
don't even know where it is. Yeah, that's the internet.
I'm
Okay.
just trying to figure that out. What was I gonna ask? And you were not living in Florida in, what year is this? 20. Sorry, you made comments on a town board, an application for a high-rise. Somebody was building a high-rise and you wanted to.
Oh,
stop
somebody
them
was
to-
building a high-rise near my wife's house.
Yeah, and you said it shouldn't be there because, but you weren't living there at the time.
No.
So, but you still commented.
I had a right to.
So, those are my only questions for right now.
Okay. I'll come back to you, Joe. Do
Yeah.
you have anything?
I do have a few.
Please.
Elise?
Yeah, so, thank you. So I actually wanted to ask you a question pertaining to the letter, it was item 16, that your accountant wrote stating that your salary does not exceed less than $52,528.
Yes, that was a number given to me by Mark and Phil.
So why did he state that? Why didn't he just state what your salary was?
Because like I had said, I was in a pretty serious lawsuit with the town, okay? And I don't trust that I give them information. It's bad if I'm doing it now. I don't trust Phil. I don't trust Mark. Okay.
But, okay, so that's, so then you also just provided one page of your tax return. I've never really seen anyone provide just one page of their tax
I
return.
was never asked to provide any of it. I told them that I would gladly review any of the documents with them, but I tried to meet Matt, I tried to meet Mark, I tried to meet Tom. Phil wouldn't do it.
He's still willing to show, he's
Yeah.
willing to show them the tax
Yeah,
return.
I'm
He's
not
not
gonna
giving
give
a
it
copy because it's gonna get out. I'll say something that's probably not politically correct. It's kind of like what they do with all the people's tax returns. All of a sudden it's out and then all of a sudden they're using it as an embarrassment, or there's a trade secret in there, or he had a deal that wasn't good, or oh, look at this, look at that. It's not for the general public's consumption.
Thank you. Okay, so just another reference, I noticed that all of the other information that you provided was all recent, like 2026 UI bill, beef sticker 2026, the voting records 2026, license, insurance, the DMV registration that also reference 2026. All of these documents are recent.
I was asked to do it. I didn't believe I needed to do it.
So,
But they asked me to do it, to prove to them, and I said, fine, I'll go do that for you.
right, but the question was the affordability for the property back in 2018, right? Not,
But I was, yes, but I was living in Connecticut. I was actually pretty much living at my mom's house.
Do you have anything?
No, actually, some of my questions were already posed.
I'll get back to you. I just have one question. A lot of your argument is based on the people living in the household, which, you're using from the Excel worksheet. They say to compute a household in this, you're going to do 1.5 people per bedroom, and then that's used in that math. Tell me how you can then move that into that other schedule and say, well, now 6 people live here. Because I'm having a hard time kind of digesting that, if you could explain that to me. And if you could bring that up, Matt, again?
That's his, not mine.
Oh, if you could, it's okay, if you just actually tell us where it is in the book, we could all just go to the page.
Sure.
Because that's really a big part
It's
of,
clear,
well,
okay?
okay.
It's in the affordability plan. And it's under,
I
I
think
believe it's in
if you go to tab 9 in the Michael Liskoff section, it's the first page, is that correct?
No, I'd like to go to.
Well, I want to see, if we could, I want to discuss this, because,
If you turn to page.
just because, I'm going to finish my question. I need you to explain to me how this household size, which is clearly the number of people in the house, is the same calculation they use in the Excel worksheet. Because the Excel worksheet is just using a number that they came up with to create economic viability to be a purchaser. But this actually says how many people live in this house. It's right, it says household size on the
Yes.
top, and then it goes from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And your suggestion is that you qualify, or Michael did, as 6.
Everybody does. As
But where does
1.5
it say
bedroom.
that? It doesn't say that anywhere.
Well, this is one of the challenges we're having. Again, I haven't been trained. There is no training. Okay, I was told by Mark Barnhart in an email, to make the assumptions that I believe true. Okay, and I believe these to be true. It says somebody's telling me to do 1.5. The state statute affordability plan says 1.5 people per bedroom.
Well, no, that's in the calculation for economic viability. You're using this for income. This is a different schedule. I just want you to address this schedule for me.
You cross-reference them.
You say that. Where
Yes.
is there, well, I just want to know,
Yeah, yeah.
if I wanted to look it up, where would I see that? That you, when you're calculating income on household size, that you use a calculation of 1.5 bedrooms to calculate household?
I've asked the same question.
You can't get an answer.
I can
Can't get an
weigh
answer.
in on that. So the 830G is the Affordable Housing Statute, but many statutes, including 830G, have associated regulations called Regulations of Connecticut State Agencies, and it will say something like 8-30G-1 through however many sections. And this is one of the critical things that's being distorted in the hearing, because this 1.5 times the bedrooms, like you mentioned, is only for the determination of the maximum permissible sale price.
Right.
When we're talking about income eligibility, it is absolutely the amount of actual people living in the home.
And that's the argument that's not agreed to.
And that is,
between
I
parties,
believe that is clear. My intention is to provide this to the board
Okay.
in a memorandum for the next
Okay.
hearing, but I'm pretty sure it's clear in the regulations.
It's pretty sad, though, that no one in the town has been able to give me that
Okay.
information, and 8 years later, an attorney's not gonna
Okay.
dig up something that I can't find.
But even so,
Okay.
part of your
That's
argument
fine.
is you might, if 401K income isn't included,
Correct.
you say you would still be.
He would make it.
So you're kind of arguing both sides.
I
just
have
in
to, I
case.
have to have everything.
Yeah, okay.
The reason why we amended the tax return, and it didn't change my son's life one way or the other to not take those Schedule C deductions. It's like $8,000 in income because he got a new cell phone for a business, he got a computer for a business. And then COVID hit and it all went to bed. I don't like taking deductions that I can't really justify. I'm very conservative that way. If I have to give up $8,000, okay, so be it. But then when they put our feet to the fire and they said, "Oh, okay, let's do." We met, we talked, we discussed. I said, "Oh, okay." So if I amend his tax returns, he'll fall underneath the income restrictions. Yeah, that's so. And then somebody said later on, and Mr. Peters in his letter of October 2024 says that Michael's income is $63,000, whatever. And so that I did the amendment in January 2025. I'm trying anything to make it happen where we can legally not have a conflict here. I scrupulously try and avoid conflict if I can.
All right.
So I got this 24-year-old kid. He's been there 5 years. He's not making a lot of money. No matter.
Is he
24? He was 24 when he bought the
Okay,
house.
okay.
Okay. So it's like
That answers my question.
how do I resolve this without
Right.
climbing the highest mountain, swimming the deepest sea?
Okay, so we're going to move on to more questions. So Joe, do you have any more questions you'd like to ask?
Yes.
Okay, please.
Attorney Liskoff, you said that the mortgage on Michael's unit is not owned by a bank. Who holds it?
My wife and I own it. We financed it, part of our estate financing plans.
And Michael's not married?
No.
What's he doing with 4 bedrooms?
Whatever he wants. I can't keep track of the kid. We play golf together, and he hangs out there playing whatever it is, and I go, and I'm done for the night. The last thing I want to do is try to watch what my 29-year-old son is doing now. Try to make my hair go even grayer than what it is.
All right. Just a couple of clarifications. In the application that you filed on the appeals on behalf of both of the clients, they included an affordability document that deals with 585 Black Rock Turnpike.
I don't know how that got
They
in
sent
there.
that in there. That was part of their thing.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from. We probably one time were looking at other affordability plans, saying what's everybody else doing?
Okay. And the city of Bridgeport has no interest in this proceeding, does it?
Can't imagine why. I don't even work for them anymore. I'm only retired from the city of Bridgeport.
Oh, well, in the application to appeal the order, that was the address that you used, 990.
Oh, I was
990
working there. I stopped working for the city of Bridgeport on or about May 18, 2025. 2026.
Okay, all right.
I had my office there. I was able to use their office. I had a computer there. I had a website there. I conducted business out of there.
Okay. I guess that's it for the moment.
Okay, Jane, do you have something right now? Okay. I just want to ask you one more question, and then I think we're no other questions. You spent a lot of time talking about what's wrong with the document that the town has, how it says 7 twice, and words are written wrong, like the town versus the zoning enforcement officer. Can you tell me why? Like, what was the point of that for us as a board, for your?
Because it's important, because what happens when a buyer goes to look at those documents, they look at the affordability plan, that's on record. And they go to look, okay, let's do Schedule B. All right, well, it says you gotta use these HUD regulations. All right, well, that's not right. And then it says that you can't lose title to it, but then they send you something that says, oh yeah, you can, we're gonna divest you of title. And then it says the sole exclusive people who can enforce things are the Planning and Zoning Commission. Those words mean something. The town adopted these, the town input it, and when it says you're not supposed to get recertification for people at all for rental, that's just wrong. And so, if they want to say Mr. Tatangelo did something wrong, and the more I don't think he did. I think he did his best. I think he really did what he thought was right to do it. It wasn't like it wasn't like anybody else had any information to the contrary.
Okay.
I don't think he would have exposed my son, who he's known for his whole life, to a claim to have his property taken away from him. You don't do that. You don't do that to your friends. You never do that. You do that to your friends. You're the devil, and you should be.
Anyone.
Okay, that answers my question.
So really, the affordability plan is the Bible.
Okay.
If I could follow up on that question now.
Yes.
But, so who wrote the affordability document?
Attorney Russo and Rizzios.
Who was
For
your-
the
was that
developer,
your-
That was
for the developer.
developers' attorneys.
So it's not the town's document, it's the developer's
No,
document.
they
No,
take,
it's the
no, the
town.
town, planning and zoning approves it. That's
Right.
very critical. They made amendments to it. They made changes to it and said, no, you gotta change this. Then they come back to us and say, here's your final document.
The state doesn't look at it?
No, it doesn't. They said-
So every town's-
There's a big disconnect.
Every town has their own affordability
Well,
criteria.
everybody uses the same template, okay? And that's the scary part about it. If ours is wrong, there's probably other projects that have been approved in the town that just duplicated ours. And in fact, I guarantee that.
Okay, good.
And I brought it to the town's attention.
Okay, so, thank you very much. So now, here's our choice. We can have the attorneys come up and they can talk, and present an opposition because there was no one here to speak in favor of the reversal. It's 5:20. I think it'd be relevant for all of us to stay if everyone's good with that. I'd like to do that. Okay, and are you ready to stay? Do you
So, I
do
mean,
you have
given
dinner
that,
plans?
given that we are intending to call additional witnesses as rebuttal witnesses, I think my preference would be to get through that and to give one final argument after the hearing is closed.
So
Right,
that
at
means
the
you-
end of the hearing.
That you want to go now?
No.
Oh, that means you don't want to go now?
I agree with that, because who knows what's going to be said.
As long as, okay, so what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to continue the public hearing.
Leave it open.
We're going to leave it open. It has to happen in 35 days, or it could be longer if they agree to that.
Parties agree to it.
And we would like to do this as a scope, please.
One point, you allowed public comment in favor of the appeal, but I don't believe you asked for public comment.
Well, because that's when they would come up and talk.
Well, I think that since you allowed public comment, not everybody who's on now may necessarily be able to
Okay,
be on
so
later.
we're going to, okay.
And as I said before, I think that it'd be perfectly fine to rinse and repeat and do this again.
Okay.
Allowing public comment and all.
Right. And we're on behalf of the CEO, so we're not public comment.
Okay, thank you. So now, I'm going to say it again just because we're going to kind of start, because I did that too early. Is there anyone here or online who'd like to speak in favor of this reversal of the notice of violation for both application? Okay, seeing none, hearing none. Is there anyone here or online who would like to speak against the reversal of the notice of violation for 461 and 48979 Westway. Anyone online? Anyone here? Please?
I submitted a letter to.
We read your letter. Can you just, if you want to talk, we're just gonna, you could just come up, say your name and address and tell us you submitted a letter.
We don't have that.
You can, it's online. Oh, did you get it online
Is
though?
that the letter we got today?
Yeah, we had it. We'll make sure you get it.
I didn't see it.
It came in about 1 o'clock.
If we can get a copy, that'd be great.
Yeah, we'll make sure you get a copy. So just like, you could just, I don't want to, I know people get uncomfortable, just name and address, and I just want to make sure you have my letter, and thank you very much.
Okay, my name is Lori Hashizumi. I live at 1059 Pequot Avenue in Southport. And I submitted a letter. I just asked you to please use your best judgment in carrying out fairness and equity, because the affordable housing subject is very controversial in this town, and something like this really casts a shadow on the whole process of fairness. And I would hope that you would consider everything and restore the trust that something like this takes away from the process. So I hope you read my letter. And yeah, and I'm sorry for the lateness, but I kept checking. I saw an article in the Patch newspaper saying there was going to be a hearing in June. So I kept following the agenda, and then I noticed that it was continued, that it was postponed till August, till today. So I kept checking to see if there were any files or materials that I could get background information on this project, because to me it sounded like there was a question of eligibility, and that could really damage all other affordable projects if we don't have a good process in place. And so I kept following, and last night at about 10 o'clock, I realized that you had submitted, 100 pages or whatever of documents. I went through it all. I could have answered some of your questions today because I had my yellow marker with me. But I think it's really important to take it seriously, and I thank you for your thoroughness in reviewing the documentation. Anyway, that's me.
Thank you for your comments.
And then you can actually address any of that if you'd like.
I just don't think public comment is proper in a trial like this. I think it should all be stricken. It's never been done in any hearing I've ever had in a reversal of a hearing officer. It's beyond the scope. They have no interest in it. They have no stake in it. It's strictly the appellant versus the hearing officer, and they have no right to speak. They have no right to be a part of it, period.
Okay. Well, we'll put that in the record, and then I think everyone will talk about that who knows things about law. Okay, so that all being said, I believe we're going to continue this public hearing. The town will work on a date that everyone can agree to.
I will send out an email tomorrow asking for dates, or I'll put out dates.
And we'd like, I think we'd like to do this as a special meeting, not on a regular agenda, because our next meeting
I'd
is.
like to do it before the end of the month.
Right,
Yeah.
okay, that'd be great. All right,
All right.
so I think we're gonna close the public hearing.
No.
We're gonna keep the public hearing open, but we're gonna adjourn.
Adjourn the
We're
meeting.
gonna adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? Okay, adjourned.